podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling. 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 Every day I'm hustling.
Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just
the body punches? I was hitting him with body punches and I heard him actually he was crying in there.
You're saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? When did that happen?
And perhaps the fourth round on.
BoxingVoice.com.
We have new video from a crash that sent welterweight boxing champion Errol Spence Jr. to the intensive care unit. The crash ejected the boxer, but miraculously, he is expected to be okay.
BoxingVoice.com.
It's been a miracle, and I'm a blessing from God that, I haven't had anything serious that would have me out for a year or two, or just would have been, ending my career. That none of them guys wished that I wasn't back so fast, but I am back, and I want to fight the top names in the division.
I have to ask you about your eye. We were all worried about you when you had to pull out of the Manny Pacquiao fight.
I want to fight, so,
But you could have gone one.
Yeah, one eye. I got another eye. So.
WBC of IBF welterweight champion of the world.
That's why I sound bad, and I told people I didn't want to tune up fight. I've been getting a second chance at life, and I've been getting a third chance at boxing. Nobody's rewarded Terence Crawford. There's big fish on this side too that, I gotta fry. Like I said, I'm gonna get these belts over here, then I'm gonna come take Terence Crawford belt because I said I'm gonna be undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
SDS Promotions.
He is the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska.
He's good at what he do.
Hey, Daddy.
Undefeated WBO lightweight champion of the world.
Hey, Daddy.
BoxingVoice.com. Taking, any credit away from Errol, he's a great fighter. He's good at what he do. But when you compare him to Terence Crawford, there's no comparison.
It's a dollar beat.
I'm just a better fighter.
BoxingVoice.com.
Sit back and watch this. I promise you something. All that shit you talking don't mean nothing. I can pull my guns at you, you can pull your guns at me, but at the end of the day, them two brothers got to get in the ring.
Hey, Daddy. It's a dollar beat.
We've been here before. You try to get there. Alright? I can tell you how it is to be undisputed. You can't tell me shit.
This is dollar. Hey, Daddy.
Y'all support y'all fighter. Let's come together, make this event a success.
BoxingVoice.com.
Everything about Terence Crawford is better than Errol Spence Jr.
BoxingVoice.com. BoxingVoice.com.
Boxing fans, are you ready?
Hey, Daddy.
BoxingVoice.com. BoxingVoice.com. BoxingVoice.com.
Good morning, TBV. What up, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Welcome back. It's Friday, and we're ready to rock and roll. We got a great show
planned for you. Plus, we got a guest. Frank Smith already said he cannot come on at 9:30, but he'd need an extra 15 minutes. That makes it 45, so that's 6:45. 6:45 a.m. today, we'll have Frank Smith. You got to remind me, I'm going to get wrapped up in the show and forget. You got to help me remember. But we're here to discuss Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, the rematch. When is it happening? Where is it happening? What network is it happening? These are the things that we are going to be discussing today, this fine morning. And at 6:45, we're scheduled to have Frank Smith of DAZN, where we can ask him, would you like to carry this pay-per-view? Because the thing is, while everyone believes this fight is happening, the truth is there's no network. And if there's no network, how can this fight happen? You know, every single report that I was able to dig up was before the announced demise of Showtime. And yes, just hit that blunt, 6:45 PST, 9:45 Eastern time. You feel me? But Danny, what's up? How are you? Buenos dias. ¿Qué lo que? ¿Cómo está? What are you doing? How's it going? What's shine? What's shine? Yo, what up? Yo. Oh. Yo.
Yo. Yeah, what's good, bro?
Yo. What up,
Yo,
bro?
you don't hear me?
I hear you, bro. What up?
What's the word?
What's the word, B?
Shit, man.
Shit. What, it's cold
Getting
over
over
there?
this. Man, I'm fucking sick, bro.
Está
Like, this
frío.
shit. Bro, this shit just keep getting worse.
Is it cold? Like, I mean, oh, your cold is back.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it ain't gone no. It just keep getting worse.
Yeah,
Like,
now I'm kind of getting over my shit, B. Kind of getting over my shit. But look, ear to the street, what you been hearing? Is this shit happening? Because you know, we got Espinoza, you know, reporting whenever he reported that this fight was happening. But that was a long time ago, right? You got nothing since the announcement that, you know, Showtime is done. We haven't gotten anything since then. We don't have a network, right? So how do we have a fight?
Nothing since Showtime being done in terms of this fight, at least.
In terms of this fight, but all the reports indicate that they've agreed. You got Bomac saying, you know, they've agreed. You've got Derek James saying similar things. So but this is all pre the network leaving the sport, right? Obviously,
Yes.
I got this quote here from Brian McIntyre, and it said, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think the last time I remember Espinoza speaking about this fight happening was when the rumors were swirling, like before it was confirmed. But the rumors were definitely swirling at this point that Showtime was going out of business. I forget what fight week that was, champ. Fuck man, maybe Canelo Charlo fight week.
McIntyre told Fight Hub TV, the rematch is gonna happen. Mark my words. And the same thing will happen. Asked if the undisputed, obviously they asked him if Crawford, you know, could defeat Spence at 54, and Bomac added, not Evan, but even at 160. If it happened at 147, if it happened at 122, it's still going to be the same thing. And then Derek James had this to say, Showtime is leaving boxing. It's like a dagger in the heart for us boxing fans who grew up with Showtime. But the thing is, like, he always says he doesn't watch boxing, so this was weird to me coming from Derek James. But that being said, he said, and I quote, Stephen Espinoza, is a good friend of mine. We had dinner right that day after the fight. So we spent time together, but we never talked about business. Um, we never talked about that stuff like that. I didn't even know until it was announced. I heard speculation about it, but I won't go to somebody and say what I heard. So again, they say the rematch is happening, but because of everything that's happening with Showtime, there's not any clear indication. Um, we have obviously a hold. Shit, I gotta listen to that message in a second. We have obviously we found a hold on a date, two dates in February, Danny. And I'll screen share this. Obviously, this is more your alley, so you can tell the people about this. But this is being rumored on the boxing sphere that this could be the Errol Spence rematch date and the return Gervonta Davis date again. I don't know how that could be without a network, but this is two requests, actually four requests, right? But as you can see, it shows a request from TGB Promotions for February 3rd, 2024. That's next year. Then they got another one, February 24th, 2024. But obviously no network there. It just says televised on pay-per-view. Whereas though if you see the top one, televised on ESPN Plus for possible action. The other one says televised on DAZN. So obviously, these will be
Yeah.
pay-per-view events, but there's no network. You still
Well,
need a network. You
I'll
need somebody, and you need a production crew, Danny.
yeah, I'll say that the top one you had, that's the FA card.
November 4th.
That yeah, against Goodall. That's that
That's
card.
already
So I
done.
mean, you know, that's why all the details were there. Um shit, that's in a week and a half or so. Uh what was the other one? A Golden Boy, right? First week of January at the Virgin. I haven't heard anything for that one. And then the other two TGB dates, uh I don't know what they could be for, possibly these, possibly a tank fight. A tank fight in Vegas, I feel like it would have to be a bigger name though, right? Oh, he's doing something. But yeah, I feel like if it's a tank fight in Vegas, it would have to be a bigger name. Um but yeah, I think let me check what the that's the hose. Let me see what the Nevada website got, the commission website, because that's who obviously sanctions the fights. And they have a calendar. You guys can go check it out too. So I'm pulling that up now. So coming up, they saying the return of Virgil Ortiz in Vegas though? Why would they do that in Vegas?
I don't know. Frank Smith hit me back. He wants to do it via phone because he's in traffic. I'm like, we prefer Zoom. We're going to be on for a bit if you want to see if we can touch base in an hour. Because, again, phone is not the same. It's pretty not the same. But
Right. So right now I got the commission website pulled up.
mm-hmm.
I I was just seeing what they have on their calendar as of right now. So that November one that you mentioned, that's on there. And then you said uh so they have the TGB promotions December 9th event at a location to be determined is all it says for that. December 30th, they have the same thing. TGB Promotions will promote a professional boxing event at a location to be determined. January's empty. February, as of right now on the calendar, they only have Top Rank the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, which is Super Bowl weekend. So they got to hold on those just in case, I guess.
So here's an article from ESPN. But again, this is dated back March 31st. Excuse me, August 31st. We're in October. You know, they're saying that they would meet in Las Vegas again, and that obviously Earl would get another shot because of his rematch clause. But these are all old reports. Now, if we go to this, this is what Danny just showed, and someone questioned whether or not what Dan is saying is true, because this was reported. Canelo Alvarez next two fights in 2024 will be reportedly both still be broadcast by Showtime pay-per-view in the U.S. despite Showtime Sports shutting down at the end of 2023. This had been previously agreed as part of the deal with Al Heyman's PBC, according to ESPN Mexico. Dan says that according to his Showtime spokesperson, and I quote, there are no plans for any Showtime pay-per-views of any kind in 2024. So then someone questions Dan and says, if there's no Showtime pay-per-views in 2024, what does this mean for the Tom Brown dates in February in Vegas? And then Dan says they don't need Showtime to do pay-per-view. So, what's your thoughts on Dan saying they don't need Showtime? Because that's what led me to say, well, they need a production team. You can't just go to payperview.com because they're a distributor. They don't have a production team. They don't actually go to shoot. They don't have a truck. And by truck, I mean
So
the network truck that sits in front of the arena and fucking broadcasts the signal.
So I think the report was that about 40 employees or so lost their jobs or will be losing their jobs once Showtime Sports ends at the end of the year. I also heard that the majority of the people that will be unemployed would be like contractors and shit. So I don't know if those are the people contracting. Like obviously Showtime has the commentators and they have their crew as well, but
It's just a
as far
big
as
budget if you try to do it yourself, because now you got to think, like, obviously you and I don't know the ins and outs, but can you assume they were being given some of that stuff because it's a Showtime pay-per-view and they reap some of the benefit? Like, or do you assume that the person putting on the pay-per-view is paying for the announcers, like you said, and whatever else Showtime is bringing, all the freelancers that will be there to get the event off the ground?
what do I assume? I mean, yeah, like for example, I do think that Showtime being there would eliminate certain costs. I don't know how many, but I've spoken around. It seems like more than it seems like the majority of the people losing their jobs aren't actual Showtime employees, more so contractors that will now have to fill you know any Showtime events doing other work.
Now, there's heavy speculation that regardless of what Dan says, it will be on Showtime because of this, because it says, that they would have to buy Al Heyman out and pay out the seven figures to PBC to end the contract effective at the end of 2023. So it's like, are they going to pay to cut them loose, or are they going to give them, whatever they owe them?
Hold on, pull that back up.
Big fight
I was trying.
weekend.
I was trying to read the whole thing.
It is possible but unclear as to whether Showtime would continue to produce pay-per-views in 2024, as Raphael has also reported that the network and Premier Boxing Champions still have an existing contract for potential pay-per-views that run through next year. However, if Showtime completely ceasing, then they could negotiate a seven-figure payout to PBC to end things effective at the end of 2023.
I mean, when did that come out? Because they're literally saying per Dan Rayfield, but Dan Rayfield just tweeted the complete opposite.
Yeah, no. But Dan is tweeting that they won't do any pay-per-views of any kind, but no one is following up with Dan. I mean, this guy actually, shout out to my man Barenzi. He's actually following up with Dan, but I don't see Dan answering. Because this is Dan's article, right? So he said to Dan, he sent him the clip and he said, did Al get his 7-figure buyout yet? Because it hasn't been answered, and this is all the same thread. Is just some guy said the same thing I would say. I trust Dan over literally any other boxing reporter. I wouldn't say any other, but definitely over many. And then obviously my boy Barenzi asks him the $1 million question, right? But speaking of $1 million questions, we have our own little question. We got a poll going here on youtube.com where we are asking you. Hopefully, you've waited till the information was given to you before you picked Showtime, because we're asking you Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence 2. Does it happen? What network? Yes, it happens on Amazon Prime. Yes, it happens on Showtime anyway. Yes, it happens on DAZN pay-per-view. Yes, it happens on ESPN pay-per-view. Now, we do know it could happen on ESPN because Jake did that, you know. It could happen on DAZN because Jake and Mayweather did that.
Yo, now granted, somebody would have been left out, but how do you not have an option that it doesn't happen?
Because we're fight fans. We wanted to. And it's YouTube's fault. Blame them. They only give us 4 options. We needed to put the networks. You know? It's unfortunate.
I would
But
have
if you're watching
combined.
this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the
I would
thumbs
have
up.
combined. I would have combined ESPN and DAZN only because they've been like co-distributing each
Yeah, I
other's
mean,
pay per views as of
you
recent.
know that because you're a hardcore, but then someone else sees it both together, and it would just be an unfair
No, you right.
statistic.
You right. You right. You right. You right. You right.
But
You
don't
right.
forget, we're gonna be having the brunch in the Bay. Tickets are available. You
Haney.
could go to. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Haney versus Prograis. Oh shit, I fucked up. I'm
What?
gonna unpin that and then cause originally the dude sent the thing and said fight party. I'm like no. But I put it in the chat as fight party. It's pre-fight party though. Brunch in the Bay pre-fight party. The chat, the link is in the chat, and tickets are now on sale. Limited sections are available, and I should be confirming our guest celebrity host within the next week. So looking forward to that. We're about 6 weeks out.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be fun. Did you see? Few people. We had a chef hit us up like, "Yo, let me do the catering," and I'm like,
Yeah, I
Danny found a
responded to
spot.
him.
I know him. Well, you know him. We had him in studio. That's Jared. He's actually the one that created my original logo. Remember, we had his son in
Oh shit,
studio.
okay.
Yeah,
Yep, that's right. That's
he's a
right. That's
chef.
right.
He's a chef. He really is like he's like Chef Jody, like that, like designer chef. And
Well,
then someone
hope he
else
a
hit
little
me
better
up,
than that.
huh?
Nah, go ahead.
Then someone else hit me up to do the videography, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk to you after the show because we might not get Malik to travel over there. Is he going?
Nah, I ain't had that I haven't had the conversation with him yet, but I haven't had the conversation with you either because it was, you know, it might be like a group, right? We gonna have to talk, figure things out. Um, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be a fun event. I'm looking forward to it, man. Uh, 2-story. I mean, you've seen the venue, 2-story bar upstairs, bar downstairs. Upstairs, it's all sections and booths. It's gonna be really dope. music throughout the venue, outdoor seating for the smokers. So it's gonna be a good time, man.
What's your boy's name? Conti, right?
You killed me. Yup.
Just as I type this, I'll say it out loud. Victor Conti has confirmed that weed cannot be used as a masking agent. Meaning, Danny, since
He
that's your
told us
boy,
he told us that when we was in studio, meaning that you can't use that to cover up potential PED use.
exactly. So everybody that is insinuating that Keyshawn popped for weed because he was popping for something else, we already asked that question because that's what I thought. We already asked that question. Also, the video floating around is not Bob Arum talking about Keyshawn. That's an old video from 10 years ago. The fact that the dudes that think this is Bob now are the same dudes that can't tell Jamel Charlo and Jamal Charlo apart. They never could tell them apart. That's the same dude that thinks this. This the same dudes that think this Bob Arum is the same Bob Arum, but it's cute and it works because he said it then for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when he popped for weed. So if it's good for Julio, it's good for Keyshawn. So I'll play it anyway, but it's not for Keyshawn. The internet is a fucking liar. They want to be undefeated, but no, they're just trolls.
Sorry that it happened. Hold on. I just want to say really quick, y'all must not have watched, anybody that thought this was Bob now, y'all must have not watched any of the Saudi footage from Fury and Ngannou, because he was sitting up there and I was just like, poor Bob. He's up there. I hope they don't crush him, because John Fury, and I'm like, yo, I just ain't want nothing to happen to Bob. I wish Bob looked and was talking the way he is in this video. Go ahead, Ness. I'm sorry.
I just want to play the video for everybody so that they know what it is they're watching and they know the facts. This is 10-year-old Bob talking about Chavez. So he was like 81 then.
Sorry that it happened, that he tested positive, but I'm not going to condemn a kid for smoking a joint a month before a fight to go to sleep. What the fuck is happening? I mean, let's be real about it. Let's not be hypocrites about it. Cheating, performance-enhancing drugs, that's cheating. That's wrong. Smoking a joint a month before a fight, take a poll here. What kind of percentage do you think of people who smoked a joint in the last month? So let's be fucking real.
Shout out to Fight Hype for being on Fight Hub, motherfucker. Sorry about that, Marcos. Shout out to Fight Hub for being on the scene and getting that 10 years ago. So just goes to show Bob's always been an advocate of weed. And I'm with him. Danny wasn't here for the second show, but, I posted, I stand with Keyshawn. I feel like it's unfair. I'm glad you're here now because I could say what I said yesterday and it's going to hit better because of who you are. So I stand with Keyshawn, bro. It's unfortunate that he's being condemned and shamed, right? Like, I think of Ricky Williams, bro. Who would Ricky Williams had been if the league ain't shit on him and make him retire, right? Because they forced him. They said either stop smoking or retire. Homie said, bruh, the ganja is better. That's just like Bob Marley. They say, yo, cut your leg or die. He said, bruh, I like me soccer too much. I'm going to play soccer and smoke weed. Like, these dudes rather smoke weed. Now, fast forward, the league lets y'all smoke. So how many kids would Ricky had inspired, that it's mad dudes that just like, the mind power's not there. Let's be real. That's just the truth. So they decide to go with the plant over their dreams and goals. But like if Ricky would have been able to show the world, like, bro, I'm the best rusher, even while smoking the power of the flower, like Keyshawn did. Let me bring it all home. Keyshawn, if he was high, if he smoked in camp, ate edibles, and he performed like that, don't shame that dude. Praise that dude. How'd you do it, young man? You got a serious lung capacity because the myth is you can't smoke and fight. You
And
can't
we
smoke
don't
and
know.
run.
We don't know. It could have been. It could have been. CBD product because that'll pop too.
Nah.
It could have been.
CBD is a totally different component. THC is THC, CBD is CBD. It's two different
But
components. It's like, it's different. Plus,
I'm pretty
they test
sure.
for
I'm pretty.
THC, not CBD.
Yeah, but they ain't say he popped for THC. They said he popped for marijuana, right?
True.
And yeah,
But
so that's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying. CBD is legal in all states, so no one would be testing for CBD. You could find
But
CBD in your
is it?
local gas
It's
station.
it's not about. Is it legal on a federal level though? Because that's what
Yeah, but the
they.
commission is not federal. The commission is state to state. It's the Texas Commission.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
But Texas just some cornies. They Republicans, no disrespect to them, and Republicans, but
Regardless,
they not what's the they not recreation. They're not even medical over there, are they?
nah, they ain't nothing over there. They ain't
See what I'm saying?
recreational. They ain't nothing.
They talking about Danny is right. I bet you he not. Tell Danny Google that shit. He ain't popping for no CBD. It's
I'm gonna
fighters
text
got
Victor.
CBD lines. Mikey got a CBD line. Haney got a CBD line. I mean, there's so many people got CBD, bruh. Stop it. Ooh, look at Tall Boy Slim. CBD products contain a trace amount of THC, which show up in tests. I'd have preferred you say which may show up in tests. You feel me? May. I don't know about all that.
Bro,
Know about all that.
just cause people have their own brands don't mean you feel me that it's allowed to, you know.
Bro, you got fighters
You can have a lot of shit.
literally doing promo like, bro, I use CBD. Like my man Kurt Scooby got one. Like, bro, y'all wilding. But look, it is what it is. It's not my battle. I don't really care. I don't really care if Hopefully it is CBD. I as a pot smoker, I want it to be weed. I want him to be the Ricky Williams of boxing. You feel me? Show the world you could do it. Because I
I
know other
mean,
fighters
bro,
that smoke, they just ain't
I
come
feel
out the
like we
closet.
I feel like we live in such a world where the top athletes in the world have either came out or been caught smoking marijuana. And it's like you said, we performing at this level. Why the fuck do it matter? Shakari Richardson, obviously, the world shamed her recently. I'm trying to think of some other ones, bro. But like the NBA, they don't test no more. Cause they know like everybody smokes. Everybody smokes. And there's been dozens of interviews with NBA players like, bro, we'll smoke before a game. NFL players, man, I used to smoke on my way to the stadium. You feel me? So it is what it is, man. Hopefully they don't go too hard on them. It's just some fucking weed.
Bruh, what's sad is you get that loss. Like, it ain't a loss, but you don't get the win. Like every fight, you like, man, I'm really posed to be. I'm really posed to be. You feel me? Like, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Phelps too. Michael Phelps was a big one.
Okay. Yo, what's up with I just told you about the videographer. I said, yeah, send me some links to your work. My man worked the whole OTX event. Perfect. We love experienced people.
Who is it?
DMs, champ. So I was trying to find out. Ryan O'Hara is the one reporting that Keyshawn tested for marijuana. So I asked him, did he follow up with the Florida Commission to see would they still allow Keyshawn since it's a totally different commission. Because obviously he has that planned fight for Pedraza. Bro, in Pembroke Pines, of all places, is it really Pembroke Pines? Like, they wildin', bro.
What's
That's
that?
like Florida, but it's close to Miami. It's like a city off of Miami, I guess. A little bit away from Miami, I guess. But
I
yo,
mean,
what the
bro,
fuck is making them go to Pembroke Pines? Like, I ain't even know that was not
the same shit,
commercial. I
the
thought
same
I thought
shit
it was
that
residential. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Syfy. But who's paying it?
I
I
was
need
gonna
to.
say. I was gonna say the same shit that just made him go to Edinburgh, Texas.
Bro, fuck Edinburgh. They in Lake Tahoe with it. That's funny. They need to go to Niagara Falls then.
I mean, Lake Tahoe is at least more of a,
Yeah,
they
Bones,
got
the
shit to
guest,
do
I
for
text
certain
him
people.
already, Bones. I text the guest. We just waiting on him to let us know. I told him, you feel me? We could give him time to do it at 10 because he had rather do it by phone. And I'm like, that ain't the same. That ain't gonna hit the same.
Bro, you missed it, but it's a big ass cornball in the fucking chat. I'm finna time his ass out.
I got Manuel LG, $2 super chat says, guess at 6:45. Don't forget, Nas. Nah, we on it. I sent him 2 texts, so we really got to wait for him to hit us back at this point. But on our live poll here at youtube.com/the boxing voice, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence dose. Does it happen? What network? Looks like the leading vote is tie with Prime and DAZN, 31. Yep, back tied. No, untied. 31% DAZN, 30% Amazon Prime.
Damn, it was just Showtime a minute ago.
Yeah, now it's 27% Showtime. 11% it happens on ESPN. Yeah, that's something that they need to let us know, man. I mean, fuck. How long do we gotta wait for this rematch? But September 30th, which is 3 days short of a month, Espinoza said this, but then again, that's when the network was still in business. So IFL was reporting that Espinoza confirms the Crawford Spence 2 talks are in, they in talks, right? And sources boxing scene, but this was before the network decided they were done. So I don't know where that leaves us as boxing fans with this particular fight. I also wanted to address this before I completely open up the phone lines. I followed Julius and I watched this video on this topic. And, Dan and him obviously had their little conversation. So obviously, Julius is insinuating that Heyman blew through $500 million on Waddell and Reed, which is true, but then blew through budgets with NBC, CBS, Spike, Bounce, Fox, Sports One, Fox, and Showtime. Dan tells him the NBC, CBS, the Spike, and ESPN Bounce and first couple of years at Fox were time buys, not network rights, fees, which means they did not receive money from the
The
network
network to put on the fight, they had to pay for that time slot on said
to
networks.
put their fight on that network. So there's a major misconception. There's memes going around of the Grim Reaper Al knocking on doors and leaving them bloody. And it's not as many doors as people assume, but it's still the same outcome. Meaning, whichever network allowed him to put his product on didn't like what they seen in terms of a product and viewership and attention garnered to their network because they never offered him a deal. Now, Fox, we can't lie and say they didn't like it because they did give them, and there are reports of them giving Al 60 million or 64 million. But that was only 1 year in 2015. So again, no, he didn't run through all those networks, but yes, he showcased his product on all those networks. That's like taking your product to Walmart and them saying no, and then Target and them saying no, and then even fucking Wawa and them saying no, you know? It's still the same damage. It's still the same damage, you know? But I did want to at least tell you that it isn't the way people are trying to make it seem, as if he blew through everyone's money. That's not officially how it done. But the truth is he didn't create a good enough product for any of those networks other than Fox to cut him a check. Meanwhile, it's a smaller check that he got cut than Bob Arum. Bob is getting 99 million. According to T.O., he says 89, but I had always heard reports of
I
99 or 90,
I
something
thought it
like
was
that.
yeah, I thought it was 90 and Tio said 89.
Yeah, so uh it was never a lot of money because Bob didn't have the stars. You're going to get your PBC gangbangers to call in, your C-dubs and stuff like that, and they're going to talk how great the product of Al is, but the truth is ESPN gave Bob Arum more money for less stars. If you believe PBC has all the stars, then why did Fox only give him 64 million?
Can I say something? I think that relationships and connections have a lot to do with it just across the board. Like, I'm gonna give you an example outside of boxing. Dana White just got $100 million deal with Anheuser Busch and Bud Light. That was, I feel like, more relationships like than product, and connections than product. You get what I'm saying? Like, although the product is there, you got to have those connections and those relationships. And I feel like that's maybe why they were able to do it, or do it at that level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. We're going to need something, that's for sure. We're going to need answers. That's what this show is really about. Like, we have so many questions. We don't know if the fight is happening, when the fight is happening, what network it is happening, you know, who's providing the pay-per-view. And this fight financially, people don't think it would do the same. Do you believe it'll still do the same?
Hell no. I mean, I felt like it was a bigger success at the gate than it was on pay-per-view. In terms of, and I'm sure the pay-per-views made more money, but what I'm saying is I think the expectations was a bit higher for the pay-per-views, while doing a $20 million plus gate. That's, I thought that was pretty hard to do. We saw Tank and Ryan do it, but that was a mega event. And so the attendance, even with that, I feel like we'll see not as high of a gate.
How many pay-per-view buys? Rough estimate, just for show purposes.
500,000.
500,000. Oh, so only a drop off of 150. They both reportedly made 25 million each, according to what I read this morning, with obviously Earl making a little bit more. But if you're saying 500,000 times the 80, that's still 40 million plus your $20 million gate. But that's, you
Again,
you giving them, is that your high number or your low number?
nah, I mean, just what I think it does. And again, uh I don't think they do that $20 million gate.
Again, you don't think the gate gets that big again?
Nah, nah, I just said that. I feel like, I feel like, the first go round, the expectations for the pay per view was higher,
Yep.
and I
So
felt
you think less
like,
stars will come out to pay
hold
for
on,
those expensive tickets?
and I also felt like, the expectations for the gate was over exceeded, in my opinion. They put themselves along with Tank and Ryan. I know they didn't do as much, but they did close to it. Um, yeah, I just don't think it'll be as many people to come out.
Let me ask you, do you think Earl and
Like,
Crawford know that? Do you think they
yeah,
understand
yeah,
that less people are going to be interested?
yeah.
Okay.
And
Do
and
you
look and look and look, you don't watch other sports, bro. They did that fight in July. There's only one professional league out of the four majors playing at that time. Bro, they do it in January, February. Depending what time they do it, you got 2 to 3 leagues going at that time. The NBA for sure gonna be in full season. Hockey obviously not as big, but they in full season. And the NFL would be in the playoffs, so it's gonna be more difficult, in my
so
opinion.
so because you feel that the both fighters know this fight makes less revenue, is it safe to say that this fight deserves to be on a subscription like a DAZN? Because I feel like DAZN could throw 20 million at Crawford and Earl, 10 apiece, let them keep their gate, you know, and maybe figure out some sort of subscription, whatever new subscriptions come in, a certain dollar amount they can get. Does that sound like something they can do? Because we've never heard reports that any fighter gets a dollar from any new signups, but maybe that's a way to incentivize new fighters to fight for a smaller purse. You feel me? Like it's not a problem for the zone because I work with hell of affiliates. It's no different. I mean, speaking of the zone and affiliate, they give me $15 for every sign up. So it's like if they could give me 15, they should be able to give the fighters $1 or $2 per pay-per-view sold, you know, after whatever $20 million threshold.
Look, at this point, I don't think anything is impossible. I think that the zone would have to do the numbers, sit down, and present the offer. I don't think nothing is out the question, but I'm gonna be quite honest and say that at this point, I would find it hard for this rematch to not be pay per view.
Really? I just feel like if you think it's gonna
But
not do
we
well,
damn listen though, we damn near in November though. That's the thing. Like the fight happened in July. The fight happened in July. We damn near in November. The rumors of Showtime going out of business been out for over a month. So at this point, pretty much in November, I just think it's too last minute to present something that's kind of left field. And in terms of, you know, it was always going to be a pay per view. It was always talked about of being a pay per view. Oh shit, now we're doing subscription. So again, I just feel like it's too last minute to because they're gonna have to sit down and do the numbers. And that's like they're gonna have to break down the numbers to for them to still make their money, but also entice uh Irwin Bud to not fight on pay per view.
yeah, I just feel like you ain't got no network right now, guaranteed money, and whatever the network has to give that's within reason, I feel like it just makes sense for them because this is a fight that can still draw in subscriptions. It may not break pay-per-view records, but it can be a subscription fight. A subscription is cheaper than a pay-per-view. It might end up doing better on, a DAZN than it would on pay-per-view as a rematch is all I think.
No,
But
again, I'm not ruling the I don't rule shit out, but I just think because of the time frame that we're at now, like, you know, it's getting down to crunch time, so it's like they would do something that's never been done. So you got to make it make sense. Pay-per-view's been done time and time again. There's a model there. There's a business model there. With what you're saying, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I just think that there's no business model. They would have to sit down, create, something that works for all interested parties.
And by business
Uh
model, you mean what the fighters would get on the back end.
Yeah, because you're talking about subscriptions, but them still putting up guaranteed money. So again, they would have to make their money back along with still making it enticing for them to for the subscriptions. And then it's going to be like, well, how do we split that? Who's bringing in more? So it's just something
Well, I
that
mean, I'm sure there's
can be
analytics
done.
of
No, for sure, for sure. But listen, it's something that hasn't been done, is all I'm saying.
yeah. Okay,
So
so let's not overcomplicate it. Like, me trying to give the fighters a back end is just me trying to be a businessman. But like at the end of the day, we don't have to worry about a back end. We could just worry about the zone willing to pay for the fight to get it on their network because it would bring in subscriptions. I mean, they
yeah,
got
but that's
Jake
more
Paul
that's
right
that's more of
now for non pay per view in December. I mean, it's for subscriptions, right?
no, for sure. Is it safe to say that Jake Paul's making less though? Like, I don't know that I've heard reports of him making,
For
you
sure,
know,
safe to say that. I believe he's making less, but you know, I'm sure it isn't anything crazy. Like Canelo's fought on the zone, regular the zone. Wasn't the fielding regular the zone?
I believe it was.
Yeah.
I was at that one. Yep.
Yeah.
Believe
So
it
I mean,
was.
it's not like it's not possible.
So, but come on, champ, is fielding either guy?
Is fielding either guy? No, but again, I had an interview that's out there with Eddie where he says he was willing to give Earl 8 and Mikey 8 to do the fight on the zone. Now, granted, that was a different time in the zone's boxing career, but look at those numbers. He was right on his pay-per-view prediction, right? So I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying they got to gauge. Most of these promoters know what a pay-per-view is gonna do, and like you said, if the offer makes sense, I don't see why they wouldn't take it. Because you're guaranteeing the fighters get what they need. Now you got a broadcaster, uh, you know, and you got the guaranteed money. Now the rest is up to the zone to promote it and let the world know that it's there so that they can make, that they can reap the benefit of bringing that big fight to their network.
Look, again, I'm not opposed to it. I just think that it's a timing thing. That's all.
Timing. You keep saying that. What do you mean exactly?
I'm saying they talking about fighting January, February. They are gonna have to create something that ain't been done to present to them. So that's gonna take time. Like, it's not a one person thing. It's gonna be groups of lawyers and financial people and network execs. That is gonna have to sit down and make this shit happen. So it's like that's not gonna happen overnight. And I just think that a pay-per-view model's there. Like, we know how to make that happen.
Word. I
Just
guess,
my
man.
thoughts. I'm not Look, I think that it's a great idea. I mean, you mentioned it. Jake's fighting on regular the zone in December. Ryan's fighting on regular the zone in December. Uh so look, it can be done, but I just think that we need to see I, just the time, bro. I don't think they got not enough time to make that shit shake.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's how bad negotiations be in this sport. That we can't strike a deal in. I mean, it's only no October. Obviously, it's almost over, but it's only October. Pretty crazy. But phone lines are open. Let's go ahead and open them up. If you want to call in, voice your opinion on today's topic, feel free. The number to call, 1425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Discord is available. Still waiting on Frank Smith. We didn't forget this time. We'll see what happens with him. Discord available, Twitter Spaces available, and the landline for those that want to call in. We're talking Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, the rematch. Is it going to happen? Where do you think it happens? What network do you think it happens on? And if you're watching this on
It's
YouTube, don't.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate, bro, because I would have loved it. I know it can't happen, but like I would love for Terrence to get a homecoming and do it at the football stadium. Obviously, it can't happen because of the weather, but shit, that would have been fire. The Nebraska women's volleyball team, they did like 85,000 at the football stadium, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. But people be fucking with volleyball. Not me, but people do. So I could see that
Yeah,
doing
but
big numbers.
I'm just saying, bro, that was a college volleyball game. This is an undisputed title fight. You know, this
No, I hear you,
y'all
but
y'all
I mean, bro, they've stopped boxing on ESPN to show us volleyball, bro. I mean, not stopped it, but haven't started it to let a volleyball game finish. I just feel like that sport does
Yeah,
numbers.
I've never seen that. I've seen them uh not started to let college football finish.
Bro, they've done it for every. I've seen it done for fucking softball, women's softball. Bro, ESPN's been disrespectful to boxing. This is nothing new. But we got a
You gotta
brand new.
realize though, you gotta realize though, bro, all those colleges, they got deals with the conferences. So the conference is signing a deal with these networks and they got 8, 10, 12, 14 fucking schools in their conference, and it's a big ass fucking network deal. Versus boxing, they don't sign those deals that's gonna make sure that their fighters get the attention, their fighters get the promotion. That's not the deal that they signing.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like you said, those deals are they're coming to networks with multiple teams, and that's what you know everyone is doing individually. ESPN is coming with their roster to. I mean, Top Rank is coming with their roster to ESPN, trying to get money. Somebody got to do the buyout, bro. Like that's the quick solution is a buyout. Take everybody, but the thing is that again, none of these fighters belong to the promoters where you can buy the company and the fighters come with them. They might be on the contract with that company that you bought for a certain amount of time, but I don't even know if that will, you know, keep them with
Bro,
them.
look, they up until like 2 years ago, all those fucking college athletes couldn't make a dollar legally. So, they just started allowing them to get paid. You know, they've said that the most recent study, Deion Sanders has brought over $350 million worth to the University of Colorado, bro. You feel me?
Yeah,
Over
that's
three
that's
hundred and
that's what we
fifty
need.
mil.
That's what we
And,
need.
and but who? That's what I'm saying, bro. Who is bringing that? And even for him, bro, he only his contract for a
Bro, but
portion of that.
you know why he not bring you know why nobody in boxing bringing it because we ain't got a central location. But like Floyd certainly could compete with Dion in our space if he had what Dion got. What does Dion got? He's got a team and a school and a location. He has a place to sell tickets. Floyd don't got that. Boxing fans don't have that. Like, everybody knows whatever the school name is, they
Yeah, bro,
hired Dion. So
but
now they could go on that
it
website and
ain't
buy
that.
tickets, yes or no? Can they buy tickets, yes or no?
Yeah, bro, and that's
All
what you
right, then.
saying ain't
Can I
that
buy
simple.
tickets
Look,
for
hold on, just
6 months later?
listen, bro. You talking
How
about
you want
Floyd
me to
can beat
listen when
Dion
I'm the one giving you
because
questions?
you don't know what Dion's
But that's
done,
why I'm
bro.
asking questions. You want to tell me
But
something,
let
you
me
want to tell
tell
me. I
you,
was asking questions. But go ahead, bro.
because you talking about buying tickets to
You're
what he's
right.
done
You're
right
right.
now.
You're right.
All right, so what has Dion done, bro? Since you know, because you asking about right now and
I
seeing
never
where he
asked
at
you
right
what he's
now.
done, bro. I never asked you what he's
I'm
done.
no, but Ness, you said that Floyd can compete with Dion. Yes or no? Did you say that?
I said Floyd can compete with Dion in our boxing world, but
Okay,
he doesn't
you said,
have what Dion has. What does
but
Dion have?
listen,
He has a location where he can sell tickets. Does he not? Yes, he does.
okay,
Can
but
people go to their website and
oh
buy
man,
tickets?
you is
Yes.
hilarious, bro. You just don't
You just
fucking
want to change
listen,
the
champ.
fucking conversation, bro.
Bro, because you saying that he can do something in this space because he got a location, not knowing how the fuck he got there.
My brother, what don't you get? It don't matter what team he's playing for. What matters is that a
Bro, it's
very
not the
popular
team,
person,
Ness. It's not the team.
what matters is that a very popular person involved himself in something and his fan base knows where he's at. He's drawing attention to that location and that team. We don't have that. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. That's what you don't get. I'm only talking about the situation. If Floyd put himself in that situation where he had his own venue, he would be in the same place selling tickets every day. If he had a fucking schedule, he would be bringing in revenue every day. But we don't have structure. We don't have that. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what Dion is doing and how he got there. I'm talking about the bottom line basics. He got a team with a stadium. They sell tickets. His fan base knows where he's gonna be at. It's awareness with a schedule. It's structure. That's it. That's it, bro. But like I was saying, I got 201 brand new caller, or I forgot to write your number down. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, TVB?
What's up, brother? Who's this?
This is Brandon, Brandon Ortiz from 201.
Brandon, what up?
Jersey City, Jersey City.
Talk to
What
us.
up, what up? You already know, man, before I start, man, smash that like button. We at 161, we get that up. Go ahead and start with that. Like and subscribe. I feel like the rematch will do good. I don't know why people are shutting down the rematch, saying that the numbers aren't going to do good. I feel like it's really going to depend on the celebrities and how much they talk about it, as far as ESPN and other platforms and stuff. But I really feel like the rematch will do good. I don't know about the pay-per-view numbers, but I feel like the gate will sell out wherever it goes. You know, people are gonna pop out, rappers and etc. But I wanted to ask you a question. How would you feel about Boots versus Barrios as somebody for Boots' resume, being that Boots doesn't really have nobody?
I mean, the sad thing is that Barrios got a better resume than Boots.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, feel me, if Boots beats him, that benefit him more, or
I
so
don't
much,
think it
being
benefits
that
him.
he's
I've
like,
already given my opinion on this. I'll reiterate. I don't think it benefits him. Barrios started his career at 122. Barrios already lost by knockout to Tank. Then he lost again to Thurman. You feel me? It's more of a easy fight than a competitive. Like, I don't know who's gonna win in a Stantillan fight, but you talking about Barrios.
word.
Boots is the favorite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they should get that going in Boots' favor. As far as like where 147 goes from now on, I feel like a lot of people are looking at Boots as the future of 147. Past taking out Errol and Crawford out the conversation. So that's why I'm just maybe looking at that for the next year. But yeah, one more thing I wanted to say. Touching on one more fight before I go, the David versus Andrade fight. I really feel like a lot of people are underestimating Demetrius Andrade. I feel like he's gonna give David a lot of problems. So as far as that goes, I'm just gonna say don't sleep on Andrade because he really could give David a lot of problems in there. He's a good fighter and whatnot. So don't sleep on nobody if you're putting bets in, man.
All right, brother.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate the call,
Man, yeah,
Brandon.
that's my call, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit that like.
Thank you, brother. If you want to call in, the number to call 1-425-569-5241. Press 1. Twitter Spaces available. Discord is rocking and rolling. Talk to us.
Shouts out to Nash, shouts out to Danny, shouts out to the Boxing Boys and all, man. And I just want to piggyback on what bro just said about 147. It's crazy because I was just watching a video earlier about a guy saying that Devin is a 154 pounder, but he's fighting at 140 and he's scared to go to 147 with Boots. Like, it's funny he brings up Boots because I've been thinking about this. Like, when Devin makes 147, I don't even think Boots gonna be there. Like, Boots probably in his career like 160 or some shit.
Nike. I got Frank Smith. Give me a sec. Frank, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. Happy to have you. Excited you were able to make it.
I'm good, good. It's good to be here. Sorry for the delay. I got stuck in a load of traffic.
Nah, no worries, man. We're here about 4 hours anyway, man. So obviously we wanted to talk about all the programming that you guys have. You have a pretty robust schedule there. Matchroom has, and you got a fight coming up in Cancun with Oshaki Foster and Eduardo Rocky Hernandez. What could you tell us about that card that Matchroom is putting on in Cancun?
Yeah, it's a great show. Look, our Matchroom Mexico shows have actually, I think, some of the best cards we put on. I'm not there this week. Week is the first one I've missed in a long time. But Oshaki Foster and Rocky Hernandez is a tremendous fight. Obviously, WBC mandatory. Rocky Hernandez has had a brilliant career to date, and Oshaki Foster, everyone knows how good he is. So that's an entertaining fight. You have to say Oshaki Foster's the favourite. I think Rocky Hernandez is going in there looking for a big knockout. Obviously, undercard as well. You got Tabiti against Justice Hooney as well, which is another brilliant heavyweight fight as well. So it's a great card, and then some local fighters alongside our partners, Cancun Boxing as well.
Is that the first fight under Matchroom for Hooney? Like under his official Matchroom contract?
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Andrew Tabiti a while ago. That fight was supposed to happen, I don't know, I think it was 4 or 5 months ago on our show in June. He got injured. So this is his first fight with us. Look, he's 7-0 and he's stepping in there against Tabiti, who we all know, experienced, stepping up to heavyweight. I think we're in for a great fight. And like I say, respect to Hooney, because at such an early stage of his career, he's taking real tests.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger than Tabiti. Tabiti's usually about 215. Hooney coming in around those two high 40s, 246, 250 sometimes. Are you expecting a knockout?
Again, look, I think you got the experience of Andrew Tabiti, who's been in there. Yeah, he is smaller, but he's been in there against some of the best. And Justice Hooney very early on in his career, but I think he's got big punching power, and I think we're in for an exciting fight there, an exciting heavyweight fight.
Now, touching back on Oshaki in the main event, there's a lot of, rumors or reports that Joe Cordina could be next for the winner? Is any truth to that?
Yeah, look, we want to
Obviously,
make.
Joe's fighting in Monaco next week, so I'm glad you guys are back doing the Monaco shows. Those were one of my favorites, so I'm happy to see you guys back in Monaco.
Yeah, no, look, it's great to be back in Monaco. Obviously, we took a break during COVID, and then the years following that. So, I think we've had a 3 or 4 year gap now. The last one was 2019, I think it was. We had 3 shows in a row there, but it's a great venue to put events on. But yeah, Joe's got his defense of his world title, as you say, next week in Monaco. And look, it's the natural fight to make, a huge unification fight at 130. The winner of Saturday, tomorrow's show in Cancun. It's a huge fight to make, and it's definitely something we're looking at now, whether that be, UK, looking at a stadium potentially in Cardiff, or in the US as well. But, we have to see who comes through on Saturday night, and then Joe's obviously got to come through his fight next week.
Frank, what do you know about Pete Dobson? He had a scheduled fight with McCormack, and that obviously is no longer happening. Are you expecting to have another opportunity for Dobson? I know you guys are invested in McCormack and not Dobson, but this is the second fight that you offer him and falls out.
Yeah, I think Pete Dobson, 16-0, entertaining character. I definitely think we'll be looking at what fights are potential there, and also the potentially the opportunity to make that the rematch of the or not the rematch, but reschedule the fight between him and Pat McCormack when Pat McCormack's fit and ready. So we'll definitely be looking at opportunities there, because as I say, he's an entertaining guy. He's good for a build up as well, and a great fighter.
Did you see his public I guess his public cry for Eddie to sign him?
Yeah, it got sent round. We got some group chats, between our boxing team. It got sent round in there, and we're discussing. We got a lot of shows coming up. We do almost a show every week. So all the team were talking about where's potential. I think this year is unlikely in reality, but early part of next year, I definitely think there's going to be some opportunities there.
So there's a lot of speculation when it comes to DAZN and its programming. People like to throw around the term unlimited broadband. What's that mean to you? And can you explain it to the common folk?
Unlimited broadband. I can't, unless I'm completely lost. I don't know what that unlimited broadband means. To me, means you've got unlimited internet access, but haven't we all? I'm not sure.
Well, maybe it's bandwidth. Excuse me, bandwidth.
I suppose essentially looking at, on a platform, being able to run multiple events, on multiple which they do across, as a global platform, they're running. I can't even tell you the number, but across all the different sports they're involved in 196 territories, they are consistently, the platform's always got multiple events going on. So I expect that's what it means, but I'm not sure.
Yes. So we had one question. I think, Danny, do you remember your question? Have I triggered you about watching multiple events on DAZN? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Man, I don't.
Okay, I'll
Refresh.
try my best. So now that DAZN has allowed multiple promoters to promote, sometimes we get Saturdays where we got 3 different shows. Do you know how we can handle that situation? Because degenerates.
Oh,
go ahead. He remembered.
yes. It was, and maybe you're not the person to answer, but we need to have a way to watch events simultaneously. If Matchroom has an event going on, I may want to see, another event that DAZN is airing live at the same time. It may be a smaller fight, but we're diehards, so I think that there needs to be a way to watch events on DAZN simultaneously. If they're live at the same time, we should be able to watch them at the same time, because they limit our what's the word? Our devices. They limit our devices, so at least let us watch it at the same time.
Yeah, look. Obviously, I don't work for DAZN, so I can't give you the exact answer. I think they're always looking at how they can improve the platform and additions they can make and changes they can make. I like that idea as well, in terms of being able to watch multiple screens at once. I think When it comes to scheduling, though, and again, it's not my job from a DAZN perspective, but when we discuss across all of their, or when they discuss with us across all of their promotional partners, we do try and schedule out our events so they never really clash. For the bigger events, look, they're always going to have a number of shows on, but for the bigger shows, we try and make sure it doesn't clash. So, obviously, look, a lot of our events on time zones in the UK and Europe as well. So sometimes there'll be a Golden Boy show that follows a couple of hours after. But I do like the idea as well, and something I'll bring up when we talk to them next.
Frank, the 3-year extension that you guys signed brings you to what date with DAZN?
Off the top of my head, it would be, when did we announce it? It would be 2026. December, I think it's either summer or winter 2026, I believe, that from when that announcement was made, the 3 years.
Okay. Because obviously with the news of Showtime, boxing fans are pretty worried, right? We have reports that ESPN may not re-up Top Rank's contract in 2025. Showtime is done at the end of 2023. What can you assure us from Matchroom on DAZN and the future of Matchroom?
Yeah, look, I think we're in a great place. DAZN have invested heavily behind the sport for many years now, since 2018, I think the launch was, or late 2018, I believe the launch was. And they've really got behind it, and it's been clear to see. I think they're in it for the long term. Not just when you look at them as a business outside of just boxing, but as a global powerhouse in sports broadcasting. They've just, I believe, announced an extension of a deal in the Serie A in Italy, a multi-year extension there. Look, DAZN are, like I say, a powerhouse within sports broadcasting. We made a big jump, obviously, in the UK to move from Sky, and we believe in the platform. We believe in the long-term vision of DAZN. They're going from strength to strength, and again, I don't work for them, so I can't answer every question. I'm not answering questions on their behalf, but that everything they do and everything they want to build towards is mega rights. They're obviously always looking at new opportunities, new territories as well. But yeah, we're in a great place. I never think it's good for people to leave the sport of boxing, being honest. But at the same time, when there's new competition consistently investing into the sport, it makes it harder and harder. So it was a different world when it was HBO and just Showtime really being the key players in US boxing. When another party then comes into that, being DAZN, and there's been others that have come and they've gone away, but it's hard to compete, and businesses change their business plans and they change the route and direction they want to go in. But I'm very confident with where we sit and what the future holds, and DAZN's ambition in the sport.
Frank, I don't want to say that Matchroom doesn't work with Golden Boy, because I'm sure there's plenty of fighters that have, been on each other's shows, but the fights that the fans want from Matchroom and Golden Boy haven't been able to manifest. What can you tell us about Jaime Munguia and his reluctancy to fight any of your fighters throughout the years? He didn't want to fight Andre when you had him, and it seems like we can't get the Berlanga fight over the hill. Or can you tell us something new about Berlanga and Munguia?
Look, I think we've always worked well with Golden Boy. We have not always have Oscar and Eddie had the best relationship, maybe publicly, but I think we've always worked very well. We've always done good business in the past. I'm speaking to Eric Gomez a lot at the minute around a potential fight for Munguia and one of our guys in John Ryder, possibly. That's a conversation that's ongoing. And I think the Munguia-Berlanga fight can happen. I think that's a fight we would love to look at making. I think they'll both look at what other fights are there first. Like I say, Munguia potentially against Ryder, and we're discussing with Berlanga currently. But I definitely think that's a fight that we could potentially see in 2024. And look, DAZN want us to work together as well. In terms of delivering where we can deliver the best potential fights. They want us to work together. We've got some great fights coming up. There's a lot of great fights to be made. You've obviously got Haney Prograis and the winner of that could potentially fight, Ryan Garcia as well. That's a massive fight that can be made. So let's see. But talks are positive and moving in the right direction, and I think you'll see great fights, not just between us and Golden Boy, but all promoters as well, which is only positive for the sport.
In terms of
Frank,
positioning, let
oh,
me just get this follow up. In terms of positioning, obviously the Ryder fight is commercially a bigger fight for Berlanga, and it gives him a common opponent with Canelo. So as a promoter, you're doing your job for Berlanga. But Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. beat Quigley.
he said
Holds
Munguia. He said that fights for Munguia.
what?
They're in
Mosley
talks for
Jr.?
Munguia. No, Munguia Ryder. They're in talks for Munguia Ryder.
Yeah, Munguia Ryder possibly.
Ooh, that's damn. So Berlanga's on the code for real. So could we get Shane Mosley and Berlanga because they got a common opponent with Quigley, and Shane holds some version of a WBA, maybe Continental or something.
Look, I think we're looking at options now and discussing with Edgar and his team around what the right fight is, and that's ongoing. I think I've heard rumours Shane Mosley Jr. is supposed to be fighting in December on the undercard of possibly Ryan Garcia, I believe, but I'm not too sure. I've heard a few people say that, but I think let's see. There's some big fights out there to be made.
Frank,
What could you? I'm
brought up
sorry.
the Haney Prograis fight, and I just wanted to ask you. We've seen, and I know you don't work for the Zone, but we've seen the Zone and ESPN Plus co-distributing a lot of pay-per-views recently, and I love that. I love that honestly, because you get promotion on multiple networks. I'm a big college football fan. I know you guys don't have university sports out there, but it's huge out there. There is certain games. I was watching a game that had 10 million viewers, and they were promoting, I forget which pay-per-view, but it was a DAZN and ESPN co-distributed. Is that something that is moving forward that Matchroom will, or DAZN and ESPN will be doing? Will we see that in the Haney and Prograis pay-per-view?
Look, I think they've built a great relationship between DAZN and ESPN. Like you say, they've cross-promoted on those pay-per-views. I think it was the Jake Paul ones, wasn't it? And then the recent one with Tommy Fury, KSI, Logan Paul. And I think it's only beneficial for the sport. I think if more people can work together and extend the distribution of these events and the scale of these events and people promoting it. And look, fair play to ESPN as well, because they've heavily already publicised the Haney Prograis fight. Now, they've done a lot behind it already across their social media and covering the fight itself. So, but yeah, I think it's only positive moving forward that more of that happens, and I think we will see more and more of that. With people leaving the sport as well. I think extending the distribution of events is only beneficial. Look, DAZN have got one of the biggest platforms of boxing fans now in the US over the years that they built across, multiple Canelo fights and other events as well. So they're in a hugely strong position when it comes to boxing in the United States. So I think it's sensible from all sides as well. When be that other pay-per-views as well. You see DAZN obviously covering on pay-per-view the Fury and Ngannou fight this weekend. Rest of the world outside of US, Canada, and the UK, they're obviously covering that. So people will make comments, but DAZN's position within the market, as a global boxing provider, as well as everything else they do, they're in a very strong position.
Frank, what could you tell us about the
Go ahead,
pay-per-view
Ness.
price that hasn't been announced yet?
In terms of for Haney Prograis?
Yes.
Now that will be something for DAZN to announce in due course. So as soon as they do, we'll be able to tell you more.
What could you tell us about that fight being on pay-per-view? I mean, your partner Eddie Hearn just came out on Boxing Scene, I want to say a day ago, maybe two. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, his headline is, the pay curve needs to be changed. Like, fighters can't keep getting paid what they're paying and not living up to what, to the amount of money that they're making. So why is, and DAZN started off saying pay-per-view was dead. Why is Haney Prograis on pay-per-view?
Look, I think, as I said, business plans change as times develop. Obviously, when you're competing against other broadcasters that are running pay-per-views and multiple pay-per-views. Look at Showtime. Have got, I don't know, 3 or 4 pay-per-views within a 4-month period. They would have had something like that. I think you have to look at the business economics of how you run it. Look, I think here you've got the undisputed 135-pound champion against Regis Prograis, who arguably many believe is the best in the 140 division. It's a massive fight for boxing. We've seen that with the ticket sales in San Francisco. And I think, it's going to do decent numbers. I think I agree with what Eddie's saying around the best need to fight the best and the money. Look, I think when it's the best fighting the best, you can understand. I think the problem we've had for too long in boxing is the best in warm-up fights. And that's not blaming it. That's all promoters have done that. And that's led by all promoters, all new broadcasters, etc. But I think when it becomes the best fighting, then we have to look at the best ways of delivering those fights, and pay-per-view is sometimes needed, but it's only going to be for the biggest and best fights out there.
Now that fight did over 5,000 on the pre-sale. I've spoke to Devin. It's done over 10,000. We tried to book a courtside suite, and they were all sold out. They only had like 2 suites up top available. Did Matchroom at least expect this big of a turnout? This is the first time Devin has gone to the Bay as a professional. He hasn't fought there since an amateur. Did you guys know it would be this big of an event?
Yeah, look, like you say, well over 10,000 tickets sold, which, especially for US boxing is huge. But it just shows when you put the best in against the best, people want to come. People want to come out and see it. I think, did we expect it to go as quickly as it has? Maybe not. In reality, San Francisco is a market where there hasn't been boxing for a long, long time. I remember when we we had Paul Smith for Andre Ward in Oakland many years ago. And it was a tough, it was a tough sell back then. I remember it wasn't our show, but it was a tough sell. So to see so many people coming out for this fight is great to see, and it does show, taking fights to new markets is going to be beneficial rather than just going to the same old places week in, week out. Look, I think it's surprised us a little bit, but at the same time, it's a great fight. And we've priced it the right way, I think, and it means people are going to come out. So I think we're going to have a sold out house in there come December 9th.
Now, I'm glad you brought up the prices. I wanted to touch on that, but really quick, what does it say about Matchroom Boxing? First ever to host a combat sports event, no MMA or boxing event has ever graced the Chase Center. So what does that say about Matchroom Boxing just on that international level?
Yeah, look, we love going to these venues. Chase Centre is an unbelievable venue. It's a special place, and we've been lucky enough to do shows all around the world in some of the best arenas, stadiums. So to add that on there, be the first people to take it there, and I'm sure a lot of people will follow now because they'll see that there's a market there. And I'm sure there's many more places across the US that we need to look at and deliver events which are sort of starved of combat sports.
Speaking of US,
Now,
Frank, can you
I just want to touch on the pricing, that's because he brought up the pricing really quick. Just I saw it, the ringside 1,500. Most of those are pretty much all gone, and you have tickets as cheap as $40 up top. I saw that you guys had to open more seats as tickets were selling very quickly. The decision on making it both affordable but also having that VIP and having those tickets. What can you say about that? Because I was honestly surprised when I saw the $40 tickets, $35, I think.
The key is we've got to make these events accessible for everybody. And it's always been the way. The VIP, the ringside tickets are always expensive, but we have to make sure there's ability there for people to come out and see the events. It's the only way we're going to grow the sport. It's the only way we're going to grow boxing. And that's something that's pushed across all of our events, not just this one, but every show we do. I think it's important. I think it's been priced very well, and it's good to see, and we're seeing the return for it. I'd rather have a sold out house priced at a good level rather than 7,000 people in there paying over the odds, and you hit the same number. And so many people try and do that.
I remember Mayweather McGregor here in Vegas. The tickets were so expensive that it was such a successful gate. I think they did like 50 million at the gate, but 4,000 tickets went unsold because they were just so expensive.
I know, but that's look, and I think that sort of restricts the growth as well. Like I say, not being able to have new audience and new fan base because you outprice yourself.
Frank, I want my co-host to remind me to go back to asking you about U.S. DAZN subscribers. How many? Because I know it's 15 million for all 225 territories, but how many in America? But I also wanted to remember to say, don't you have a reality series coming out? Is that
I
wrong?
think no, I mean there is talk. We are in talks at the minute around a potential Netflix style Drive to Survive. It's not about me. People think it's a reality series about Frank Smith. It's definitely not. Otherwise, it wouldn't get many viewers, and I think we'd run out of. We've run it. We wouldn't get a second season if it was just about me. But it's about the business of boxing. It's about our business, our fighters, and the characters involved. And I think, look, you only have to look at what Drive to Survive has done for Formula One and the numbers that's generated and created, and it's taken the sport to a whole new level. So I think anything like this is beneficial for the sport. So let's see where that falls out.
How'd that come about? I think that's huge. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I mean, that could help the sport because it made Danny, like my co-host now, is this
That's
huge
how I
F1
became a
fan.
Formula One fan. That's how I became watching Drive to Survive, and I follow your Instagram closely, man. You're. It seems like every other race you're in the Paddock Club. So
no, look, I that's the same as me. I had no interest, but I didn't really follow it. I didn't know the characters. I didn't know the storylines, and I think it's what all sport needs. And we've seen it in other sports be a success. They've obviously got Full Swing in golf. They've got the behind the scenes programming around the which other ones is there now? There's the tennis as well.
the tennis, but
Yeah.
so is it the same people that
Yes.
you would be working with? Because what they've done, I mean, I've even watched the tennis one and the golf one. Like it was things that I didn't have as much interest in, but Drive to Survive was on another level. And we've
Yeah, no,
seen
it's
it
the
here
same
in
company.
America. Like we have now 3 races in America because of one TV show.
Yeah, 100%. So it's Box to Box, the production company who created Drive to Survive, and then all of these other sports they rolled out into. We've been in discussions with them for a while. Look, they've obviously got great relationships with Netflix because they've created some shows that delivered Netflix huge numbers. So yeah, look, I think it's beneficial for the sport, and if we can get it over the line, will be huge. I'll go back to your other question. I can't speak for DAZN. Everyone, all I can say is they're in a great place from a subscriber position. And like I say, probably in one of the best places in combat and fight sports, especially in the US, which is their focus right now for that platform.
Well, what about Matchroom? What could you tell us about Matchroom? Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a happy DAZN customer. I feel like I don't get enough boxing as a person that lives in America. I get plenty of boxing from you, Matchroom, as international, but I barely get any American fighter I know. Like I literally have to be who I am to know, right? Like you got to be a degenerate, diehard boxing fan to know Oshaki Foster. And that's it on the schedule for us.
Yeah,
Devin
look,
Haney and
I mean,
Regis. Devin Haney
no,
and
we got
Regis is left for America.
no, we also have Pacheco next month, but
Pacheco, come on.
you got Diego Pacheco. Look, is a star we're building for the future. We believe he can rule that division. He's a special fighter, and he's young. But he's young. He's 23 years old.
Yeah,
And he
he's
still
not that
needs.
guy just yet. But I mean, for like American boxing fans, he's not drawing us in. Me,
Yeah,
yes, I'm a diehard. It's different.
yeah, look, you got Devin Haney, Regis Prograis. We're working on the Edgar Berlanga return as we've spoken about there. You got the huge fight between Jesse Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards, which I actually believe is probably one of the fights of the year. And again, I know that's a boxing fan, but at the same time, I think it extends beyond hardcore boxing fans. I do honestly believe that's one of the fights of the year, Jesse against Sonny. And look, we're continuously working on our plans now for the early part of next year, and we're in discussions now for the number of shows we're working on. Look, and we understand we got to keep delivering. We got to keep delivering shows, and we got to build. At the same time, we got to build stars of tomorrow, which we're working hard to do.
But is there an like does match I don't want to use the word care, but for lack of better words, do you guys really care about the US market right now, or are you focused on other markets?
Yeah, look, we of course we care everything we do. Hence why with Pro Grey Haney, that was a fight we worked long and hard on to deliver. So 100% we care. We want to keep building. We've had a great few years. Obviously, Canelo has been a big part of that. But we want to keep building and build, like I say, the stars of tomorrow. We know the work we've got to do. And look, I think US boxing's been it's been a lot of competition within the market. But obviously with Showtime, coming out, the potential fighters that would be maybe available there, there's some big fights to be made. So let's see.
And obviously, the biggest fight that we've been trying to get between DAZN and other parties is AJ and Wilder. There was so much talk that it was going to happen and it'll happen in December. And now only half of the fight has been announced, meaning they announced the undisputed fight, but the alleged undercard that we were excited about once again isn't there. What could you tell us there? Because we've been waiting 7 years now for this fight.
Yeah, look, I think we're as frustrated as you in terms of we wanted to make that fight. We wanted to make AJ Wilder. Everything that we were being told at the time was that that fight was going to happen. Hence why that's the messaging we put across. But we're as much fans as you are and everyone else is. So we're as disappointed that it's not happening. Look, we got the pressure now. We need to deliver a big fight for Anthony Joshua. I still believe the Deontay Wilder fight can happen. But it's just when it takes place now. And I know people have been waiting a long time, but like I say, I still believe it can happen. And like I say, we're as frustrated as anyone in terms of we wanted that to take place this December.
Is that a fight that could only happen with Saudi money or something? Because on outside looking in, it's big business for us. I mean, I know I'm willing to pay. It could be done in America and be American pay-per-view. It could be done in the UK and still be American pay-per-view. What's the actual holdup?
No, look, I think, we had discussions for a long time. It's been quite openly spoken about around the fight taking place in Saudi. Obviously, there's significant value to the fight taking place in Saudi. I still think there's opportunity, as you say, to do it in the US and UK as well. But we have to deliver the best possible, financial financial position for the fighters. It's a big fight, and we have to make sure we can deliver for them. So that's the work we're going through now. So yeah, I'm not writing off that it doesn't take place anywhere else in the world at all.
I got a few more, and these are from the people now, and then we'll get you out of here.
Before last one for me before you get to those, Ness. We've touched a little bit. We've talked a little bit on Formula One, and with you guys in Monaco next week, you guys have done the shows in Abu Dhabi. I'm curious, has there been talks of Matchroom maybe planning a show internationally, or whether it be in the UK around a Formula One weekend? I think the relationships you guys have in Abu Dhabi, I've seen it right by the track. You guys, I feel like, could do a show there. Monaco, we see Top Rank is doing one here in Las Vegas with Shakur. Just wanted your thoughts, Frank, because AJ's even bought ownership into Alpine. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I feel like it would make sense.
Yeah, look, we've had a lot of discussions over the years around potential. I think the key thing is when these, a lot of it's run by governments and the authorities in the relevant countries, and they bring these events there to deliver tourism is a key part of it. And I think when you bring back to back events, for example, a big boxing event we take somewhere is to drive additional tourism. When they've already got significant people in the market, any of these territories, wherever it is around the world, for the Formula One itself, they're sort of at capacity at that point, be it hotels, be it flights, everything for the scale of a Formula One event and the interest that generates globally.
So it's definitely something we looked at, but it has to make sense for them. And sometimes to do two huge events on a weekend doesn't always work out, but something we'll for sure be looking at.
Frank, if PBC came to the zone, would that make it crowded for you in terms of dates?
Look, I don't. Again, that's a conversation I'm sure they would have with the zone.
I mean, but
Um,
your Matchroom, you still need
yeah,
Saturdays. I mean, dates for Matchroom, not the
yeah,
zone.
but I think we've got our contracted position in terms of what we have to deliver for the zone. That's in place. We're comfortable with that. And anything the zone chose to do additional in boxing, just like they do with other promoters, would fit around all of their, not just us, by the way, it's us, whether it Golden Boy, whether it be MVP, whether it be Misfits, we all fit around a DAZN schedule and work towards it the best way possible. And look, anything that grows the DAZN platform and brings bigger fights and the best fights to DAZN is good, and that's the way I look at it.
Do you believe if PBC were on the zone, it would bring in subscribers?
Again, it's about delivering the best possible fights. And that's where the pressure is on all promoters to work together to deliver the best possible fights. Great fights, entertaining fights will deliver subscribers.
We haven't
Frank,
seen three major promoters on a big network since HBO. Can you see a world where DAZN has Golden Boy, Al Heyman, and Matchroom?
Anything's possible. Like I say, anything's possible. I think, it's about having the best possible quality events. So I believe anything's possible in the sport. I don't write anything off because you never know what's around the corner. It's an entertaining sport for that reason.
Danny, you've been trying to jump in?
yeah, Frank. Wasn't it Matchroom that promoted an American card in Miami Super Bowl weekend?
Yeah, we did. We did Super Bowl weekend at I can't remember it was one of the Super Bowl partners, and it was in a purpose built venue that was built for two concerts, and then we did a boxing show in there. It was actually Jake Paul's professional debut against Anderson Gibb on that show,
Yep.
as
I
well
think
as
Demetrius Andrade was part of that bill.
correct.
I-
Yeah, so that was
I'm,
Super Bowl weekend.
I'm just saying, Cinco de Mayo weekend just happens to be Formula One weekend in Miami. I don't know, man. A Canelo fight out there. We've seen it done in a pandemic. I
Matchroom
could
doesn't
only
have
imagine.
Canelo anymore, champ.
Oh yeah, damn, that's right. But we've seen, they got
You
other
trying to
guys.
you just trying to poke me, just say.
You trying to take shots
Look,
at Frank?
I just feel that Matchroom does things like, for example, the Monaco show, right? Monaco, we all know Formula One is in Monaco is like the greatest thing, right? But your Monaco show, no disrespect, Frank, isn't like the big ticket seller. It's not like it's in a huge venue to begin with, so I feel like a small intimate show, I feel like would do the fighters maybe more good because they perhaps could get some exposure. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, our show in Monaco it's an event we're hugely proud to get the opportunity to do. To do an event. Boxing in Monaco goes back, I think, 80, 90, maybe 100 years from the events they used to bring there. And to put an event on in the casino, it's a special place. Like one day it would be great for you guys to come
Absolutely.
out. It's an
I would love
unbelievable
to.
location. So we feel very privileged to be able to put an event on there. And look, we're lucky that we promote events year in, year out, all around the world in some of the most amazing places. But Monaco's a special one, just like the Monaco Grand Prix. The Monaco Formula One, is a special race in that calendar. It's the same for us with our boxing show.
Let me get to
Would
these people's
you
question, Danny.
last one, I
He's
promise.
gonna run
Just
out of
because
time.
no, just because Monaco is a beautiful place. Julio Cesar Chavez had a title fight at the Monaco football stadium in like 1980, whatever. Beautiful casino again. I've always loved the Monaco fights, but could we see a bigger event? Perhaps in that stadium, or I know they're very limited on venues, but could we see? Do you think Matchroom would be willing to put on a bigger, more appealing name? Like I'm not saying an AJ, but just a bigger star in Monaco.
Look, I think the size of the venues, as you say, and Monaco itself is a small place. You're limited in terms of the amount of people. Obviously, the F1 weekend's a crazy weekend there. I definitely think there's an opportunity to, but I think for obviously working with the casino and SBM, I think that's an important part of their schedule is to deliver that event for their for the casino guests. But I wouldn't write it off. I was out there a couple of weeks ago at some meetings, and they've obviously got the stadium there for the team, the League One football team they've got. So I wouldn't write anything off. They obviously deliver other major events with the tennis as well, which goes there every year, I think in April. So for sure, there's definitely opportunity to do bigger events there.
I got Ruin the 504. That's New Orleans. He says, what lessons were learned while attempting to establish Matchroom in the American market? Excuse me.
Look, it's a hugely competitive market, as we've said. I think we went out. I think over the last 5 or 6. Sorry, I didn't know if you were laughing. Over the last
No,
5.
I'm excited about the next
No.
question.
Over the last 5 or 6 years, we've delivered some amazing nights. One of the key ones for me being that Canelo Billy Joe Saunders nights at the Cowboy Stadium. Breaking records there with the ticket sales. But look, it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of hard work. Like I say, a lot of competition. And I think, we came out very brash at the start. Maybe that wasn't the way to do it. Who knows? But I feel we're in a great position now, and I feel we've delivered some major nights and learnt a lot throughout the process.
So super excited for this next question because I totally forgot. Shout out to James Valdez from San Antonio, Texas, who says, have you ever heard the pre-sale pay-per-view buying idea from Nestor Gibbs? Let me break this idea down, Frank, because I don't understand why you guys haven't done this. You already got Matchroom.com. Let's start with a fight that's on the zone. Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia. It's on Matchroom.com. My site is an extension of your site. It's just another page. It's Matchroom.com/the fight you want. Now, on the fightyouwant.com page, right? It's not just Berlanga versus Munguia. It can be Crawford versus Jaron Ennis. But you're establishing that in order to get these fights, we, the people, have to meet $150,000 pay-per-view threshold, hypothetically at the normal $80 price. Gives you, the promoter and the broadcaster, the data to know what the subscriber wants, the finances for the fight. Now you got $12 million for your guaranteed purses and even undercard. Now, it's no different than when I buy my Yeezys. I put my credit card info. DAZN won't charge me until the date of the pay-per-view. The way that I want to have it established is you got Berlanga Munguia. It's a 90-day bubble. We, the people, have 90 days to show Matchroom and DAZN that we can come up with the $150,000 seed, threshold limit minimum for you to give us that fight. If we come up with that in that 90, in the fine print, you guarantee 90 days from that $150,000 pre-sale, you start to promote, meaning a total of 6 months for whatever fight we want. What do you see wrong with this idea?
I love it. I think you should send it to DAZN immediately.
I think you need to set up a meeting because people won't take me serious.
I am a little lost, but we will run with it.
You're lost? What question do you have?
So really quick, Frank, pretty much he's saying, there's a fight we want, you put it on the website, hypothetically it would have to be a pay-per-view fight, right? So, we're buying the pay-per-view ahead of time, guaranteeing the network and the promoter we want the fight. And he's saying that there would have to be a minimum to let the promoter and network know, okay, we've hit this minimum. I
think that minimum is 150,000 pay-per-view buys. I think that's very low. We've seen worse fights, do 150, but it's still $12 million. Like Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade are not getting paid $6 million apiece. Like $12 million is a lot of money for a lot of fights. No, you can't do a Canelo with 150,000 pay-per-view threshold, but I feel like that idea works to give you, the promoters and the networks, the data to know what we want. Because again, it won't just be that fight. It could be any fight. It could be Canelo Berlanga. How much do we
All
want
right,
it? And then
I
in
think
between fights, like you're gonna have a
Frank,
Shockey Saturday.
nuts. I'm sure Frank has a million questions.
Just
Let
one
him go,
one
cause you.
last thing. One last
I
thing.
feel like you're confusing him now. Just let him
I
ask
think
his
I
questions.
think you should put a business plan together and we'll share it with them. Send it over to me.
All right. All right. I'm not good at that, but I'll see if one of my subscribers helps me. All right, moving on to the questions. The last questions we got. Numb Antics. Frank, hope all is well. Is there a plan in 2024 to bring more Matchroom shows to the US? It's getting difficult to justify $225 a year subscription we are paying for DAZN given the decline of marquee US non-pay-per-view fights. I went to Garcia versus Vargas, Garcia versus Vargas show in Dallas, and it was awesome. It was an awesome time. Looking forward to more events. Thank you. So basically, more. They want to know when we get more Matchroom USA.
Yeah, look, we're under constant pressure from the zone to deliver great nights, within the constructs of our deal. So, we're pushing hard now to work through the number of shows for next year, as well as obviously their other partnerships within the sport. So, I think we understand what people want, and the key for us is to deliver the best possible fights. We've been very vocal recently over the last couple of weeks around, real fights. And I think people taking proper fights rather than warm-up fights. And if we can, the key for us is to deliver value for the subscribers, and that's what DAZN consistently push us for. So, we're always looking at the number of shows and how we can deliver the best possible events within our budget, and maybe that's more shows than we've done previously.
Flacco 38, Frank.
Oh, go ahead, Ness.
Thank you and Eddie for bringing fights to North California with the Haney fight. Does Matchroom have any fighters signed that maybe you guys haven't already announced?
Not right now. Look, we went on a big signing run of a number of names and sort of extension of deals sort of throughout the summer. One fighter I'm very excited about that's going to move very quickly is Andy Cruz. Look, we need to build him in the right way. We need to market him in the right way. But he's a fighter that I think has got huge future. We saw his debut in June. He'll be back out on the undercard a bit longer than we wanted, but back out on the undercard of Haney Prograis. And I think he's got a massive future. So he's one of our newest signings, I'd say, that we're excited about and got some big plans for.
The next one is from Trav FDY in Texas. He says, "Hey Frank, anything new on Matchroom having a new in-house VADA testing agency? Because I know you guys were working with someone and now you're not, right?"
Well, look, the key for us is we've been, ensuring there's significant testing and increased testing across all of our events. These things take time and a lot of work, and we're working through that as a team now. You would have seen as well, the UFC recently just announced their new partnership with drug-free sport. Have taken over the drug testing from USADA, I believe, for the UFC. But like I say, this takes a lot of work, and it's not something we can just rush out. But the key for us has been ensuring that on all the shows, the main events, we got significant additional testing over and above what the relevant local commission would have. But it's a constant conversation that's ongoing now.
I got Rod, I believe in Phoenix, says, "Are there any other USA fighters that Matchroom plans to sign? What are the possibilities of Wilder versus AJ happening in 2024? You've already answered the Wilder AJ part. If you want to give a crack at the first part.
Sorry, say that again. I missed the first part.
Any American fighters
that Matchroom
is looking to
sign?
We're looking at a few. I'm not going to give it away. You got the wrong man from our company on to give clues away. I'm the locked. You don't get any secrets from me. I like to get things done. I'm less of the promoter, I suppose. I'm more the paperwork man in the background, and I like a spreadsheet. So when they're ready to come out, we'll tell you.
Frank, I wanted to ask really quick if you could give me like the 2-minute story on how you got started in boxing. I'm sure you've talked about it, but But
it's so inspirational.
the
It's
guy,
crazy.
my co-host here, the gentleman to my left, has told me, hey, next time you talk to Frank, you need to ask him for his story. And we've been talking to you, and it just hit me. So
Well, I met Eddie
because
when
you're
I was.
very
I was
young, and very very high up. So
yeah. Well, I've been here nearly 16 years now at Matchroom. I met Eddie when I was, I think it was 14 years old. I did some work experience. I pestered him for a job, basically. I got his email address when I was 14 and I pestered him for a job for 2 years. I used to work part-time work experience at some of our poker events we used to be involved in, and then started at 16 years old full-time in the business. But we were very much focused on other sports back then. It was a lot more, we had the football team, Leyton Orient, we had the snooker, we had the darts, we had 9-ball pool, a number of different sports. We promote close to 400 events a year all around the world across 10 different sports. So I was just running around doing anything they told me to do, basically. And then slowly, as we got back into boxing, after around 3 years of me being there, so about 12 years ago, we got heavily back involved in boxing. Obviously, prize fighter was something we were doing a lot of. And then, started working with Cole Froch, Darren Barker, Kell Brook, all of these names. And then I just worked my way through the business. But I'm very good at making tea and coffee, so I'll make you a cuppa next time you're over.
Frank, I want to also have you give the story of your significant other, and I don't want them to leave that out the reality show. I think that's super important, man. I mean, because just think about how small the boxing world is, that a kid gets a start with Eddie as an errand boy, and then you're like the CEO of the company, and you fucking marry a woman that is pedigree in boxing. I mean, your story's insane. I hope you believe me when I say it's super inspiring to me, and I'm sure to others. But I don't know if that's too personal for you. But at least if it is for this interview, make sure it comes out on the documentary.
No, I get in trouble for mentioning her too much. She'll give me a punch. But
Really?
yeah, she doesn't like the limelight. She's not into it.
Wow.
So she's been involved in boxing a lot longer than I have. So she's a much bigger boxing fan than me, which is quite helpful when you do 40 boxing events a year. So that keeps us going.
Oh, so the last question, and you can absolutely leave. Jonathan Sims wants to know if you buy a pay-per-view, can would that information of who we're buying it for be useful to the zone and to Matchroom?
In terms of what fighter?
Yes.
I think
yes,
everything. I think all of this is important information. I think the reality is that for 95% of fighters that have been involved, 95% of fighters that have been involved in pay-per-view fights, it's about the fight itself, not the individual. I think you have the certain standout stars, the likes of Canelo, the likes of Anthony Joshua, who can sell a pay-per-view on their own back. But I think the majority of the time with pay-per-view fights, it's about the right fights. And not every fighter is a pay-per-view fighter in every fight. I think there's only 2 or 3. But yeah, I think it's always interesting.
Frank, that's everything. We do appreciate you. Thank you for the time, and I hope it wasn't too long and you had fun.
Good to chat, guys. Appreciate the time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. There you have
thank
it,
you,
ladies and
Franks.
gents. Frank Smith. That was great. We got everything we needed.
I
Is this
enjoyed
is
that.
this
Yeah.
Joe? Oh, it is Joe. Joe, please. Joe, please. Come on, Joe. I need you. Joe, be a good sport, Joe. We need you on the show. This is Joe Makrowski of The Zone. We need you on the show, Joe. One little small request. We could do a 5-minute. He left. I swear to God. Joe, how
He
could
said he was listening on
you
Spaces.
broke my heart. Bro, my man dropped off
Yes.
the minute I see he was there. He broke my heart.
Yeah. No,
Come on, Joe
he messaged.
McCroskey. Don't do me like that.
Bro,
Come
you didn't see
on,
his message.
Joe.
His
What his
message
message
10
say?
minutes ago. 10 minutes ago said he was listening on the space.
I mean, so why you ain't? Damn, Danny, where the co-host in? You follow up like you
No,
want
I
the
just
link?
seen it. I just seen it. I just looked at my phone and I was looking at the DMs and that's one of them.
Oh my goodness. Please, Father God, help me with
Yo,
these
but
interviews.
shout out to Frank Smith, man. That's a great story to honestly start as a kid in the sport
Amazing
and
story.
work your way to the top, man.
Top of the top, bro. He's literally one of the big three now. Crazy. Bro, oh my God. This is, I believe in my Father God, so I'm not going to let this demoralize me right now. But that hurts, bro. It fucking bothers that they stay listening but don't jump on. Like, come on and join the conversation because we need answers, bro. And Danny, thank you for helping me. My man laughed at me. You made my idea like total garbage. The way you damn, and we supposed to be
Bro,
partners
you should
here.
be thanking me, bro. I'm the one that made
Thanking
it make
you,
sense for him. Bro, he literally was
bruh.
like, I'm so confused, but sure, we'll run with it. And then I jumped in, like, hold on, let me break it down for you. And
Man,
you
you
should be
made it a
saying
joke.
thanks for being a
You made it a
pal.
joke. You made it a joke, man. But
You
anyway, we got Al in
ungrateful,
the
bro.
Bay. That sucks too, man. Because if it would have clicked for him, he would have seen how great the idea was. I hope Joe
Bro, he
McCroskey heard that.
literally you just bro, I don't
You
know what
didn't
the
hear
fuck
what I
wrong with
said.
you.
You didn't hear what I
He
said.
literally said, put it together and email it to me, bro. What is wrong with you? You
What's
think
that
you
got to
think
do with what I said? All I said, if it would
that
have clicked for him, it would have been good. That's all I said, bro. Like, you are the weirdest person.
bro, but that's what I'm saying. How is it
What
not
up, Al?
good?
It's not good that he didn't get it live. Imagine if he would have got it live and we would have been conversing about it and it would have been a fucking clip, dog. Like, what? How is it him comprehending it not better than me having to go write it down and email it? Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about, Danny?
but
You love to
what I'm
have little
saying is
arguments that mean nothing.
no.
Al's on the
I'm
phone.
just saying
Al is on
I'm
the
just
phone.
saying he's literally willing to hear you out. That's a good thing to me.
Yeah,
It
he's at
is a
least
good thing.
willing
It
to
would have
hear
been a
you
better
out. All you
thing
gotta do is
to have him know
kind of
what
write
was
it
going
out,
on.
so he can see it better. But he just said, he's willing to hear you do it. Um, that was a good interview. Um, my comment on the rematch is I think they should scrap the rematch and then come back to the rematch. Probably like a year later or at the end of the year, kind of like help Earl get his momentum back, and if he can at 154, give him a good fight at 154, see if he can get you know, his 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 get back, and then he can go back and fight in Crawford again. Um, because the way he got beat down, he's a broken man. So I don't want to see him fight a broke. I don't want to see Crawford fighting a broken man. I want to see that man be whole again. So if he can come back at 154 and fight somebody, and I think Crawford, if he don't get the Canelo fight, I think he should just go fight Zoo or Charlo and get a belt, and then come back to the rematch. Um, but yeah, man, that was a good interview. I hope you get all the interviews that you want and need in your lifetime. But it was a good interview. He's willing to hear you out. You just gotta write it out. You're a businessman. He's a businessman. So I'm pretty sure you know how to write a business plan out and send it to him. That's my call.
Appreciate it, champ. Appreciate it. Spider Rico.
Good morning, God.
Good morning.
Actually, Grand Rising. You know,
For sure.
yeah. Good awakenings. We never mourning. We never weeping. Every day is new, and so am I. Every day is new, and so am I. All of you are particles inside of my brain existing for the better or some for the worse. TYP, where you at? I hope
Oh,
you're okay.
hey, Spider Rico, gotta let you go. That's McCrowski. We are actually gonna get him. Sweet. Joe, amazing. Great to have you.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for coming on, man.
Not at all. Thanks for having me.
So we just had Frank on, and there was obviously some questions he couldn't answer that only pertain to uh, Matchroom and not the zone. Obviously, he couldn't answer some of those the zone questions. A lot of U.S. subscribers just wondering, obviously, the possibility of more American-based boxers being on the zone. We're paying $225 a year or $50 a year, depending if we pay annually. We don't get a lot of big American names that we're used to. And we just wanted to know what, your thoughts on the future of the zone for Americans specifically.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree with that assessment of our US business. We've invested heavily in US boxing since our entry. 2018 was our first US boxing show. Look, I look at the health of our US business based on the number of subscribers, their engagement, how often they're using the service, how many of them we're keeping um, as long-term customers. Um, all of those metrics are as strong as they've ever been on our service. So um, we're always obviously, and boxing fans are very vocal, which I love about boxing fans. They're far more vocal and far more educated on the business side of their sport than other sports fans are. I think they're much more involved in understanding of the business politics of the sport than, let's say, soccer fans or NFL fans or anyone else. Boxing fans are very well read on it. We always want to hear that feedback. We do see comments along those lines, but ultimately the health of our business is represented in the number of our subscribers and how much they're engaging, and those numbers are good. Clearly, we want to keep investing and improving our boxing business, notably in the US, which is the biggest element of our boxing business. I think our Q4 schedule is really strong. You've had Frank on, obviously. Haney Prograis is a big one for Matchroom. Ryan Garcia's return's a big one with Golden Boy. There's plenty we've got going on in the back end of the year. So I'm confident that we will end the year in a strong position and go into 2024 with a really strong base of US customers. And I hope that in the next few weeks and months we'll be announcing a strong sort of start to 2024 as well. But yeah, fear not. We're always pressuring ourselves, and in turn, I think I heard Frank say the constant pressure from the zone. That's real. We put a lot of pressure on our promotional partners to maximise and optimise our US schedule. It's super important to our company.
So hypothetically speaking, can DAZN provide dates for another major promoter if they came to the platform? Would it be a conflict of interest for Golden Boy and Matchroom, being though there's only but so many Saturdays a year?
I don't think so. No, a big part of my job and the job of my team is to work out the optimum scheduling of boxing events. It's not a particularly easy job, right? You've got to compare it to other sports, and we're a sports broadcast business. Most of our major countries we operate in are led by soccer. In a soccer rights deal, media deal, you're given a very nicely packaged PDF document from the league that says these are the dates. You get that list of dates 3 months ahead of the season, so fans can plan their travel and plan their tickets, and broadcasters and other partners can plan their marketing activity. In boxing, it's like playing Tetris live. There's always moving pieces. It's like herding cats at some points, right? And sometimes the cats are quite slippery. So you gotta put all the pieces together. It's not easy, but yeah, absolutely. We are promoter agnostic. We are. I think a lot of people when we entered the US market thought we were Matchroom streaming service. We've got a fantastic relationship with Frank and Eddie and everyone at Matchroom. We love working with those guys, but they're not our only partner. We love working with Golden Boy and Oscar and his team. We work this weekend. We're working outside of the US and the UK with the Ngannou Fury fight out of Saudi Arabia with Queensbury. We work with everyone in different ways, and of course, we're always looking to get as much high quality boxing onto DAZN, because boxing is a massive part of our business, and all of our US subscribers are there for boxing. We want to keep expanding, and we'd love to have a great show every week, because if we do that at the right economics, that means we get more subscribers and we keep them for longer. More good quality shows equals better business for us. So absolutely. I can imagine what you're hinting at. I'm not going to comment on any of that. But we absolutely are in business to work with as many promoters as we can, as long as the economics make sense for us.
With the recent news of Showtime getting out of boxing, what can you tell us as American subscribers in terms of the zone and the programming for boxing? How many years do you foresee the zone being in the business of boxing?
Well, first of all, I'd say I think as a boxing fan, as someone who's followed boxing long before DAZN entered boxing in 2018, I have the utmost respect for everyone at Showtime and the quality of service they gave to boxing fans for decades. I know Stephen a little bit. We've done business together. I've been in touch with him to wish him all the best and to offer my sort of congratulations really on a fantastic run that they had in boxing. So that's the first thing I'd say. We had a great partnership with them around Garcia Tank. I think that was a bit of a landmark deal in US boxing earlier this year that was requiring a lot of hard work from my team and from his team. So I'm very glad we got that done. I wish all of them all the best. We've watched and learned from them as we entered boxing. So nothing but good things to say about them. From our perspective, we're building a sustainable business. There's no end date on a business. If it's making money, which our boxing business is, if it's profitable and can keep growing, which it is, there's no reason for us to be thinking about exiting it, and we're definitely not thinking about exiting it. So there's no end date. There's no 3 or 5 year plan at which point we'd abandon it. As long as we see opportunities to grow it and to keep making money and to keep serving subscribers with high quality content, then we're going to keep doing it. And I think that's where we are right now. I don't see that changing anytime soon. The economics of our boxing business are getting better and better.
That's great
Joe,
news. Go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to ask you, talk about the boxing business, and we see the services that the zone offers to users in other countries. I'm curious, is there any interest of the zone getting into other American sports? I know you show it on an international basis, but is there a possibility of the zone getting in to bid for Monday Night Football, or to show NBA on Wednesdays or something along those sorts?
We're always looking for opportunities to broaden our content portfolio. You're right to say that actually the US is the exception to the rule really in the DAZN business. In Japan, I used to run our Japanese business before I moved to the States. That's the number one sports broadcaster, full stop, in Japan now. DAZN Japan is the home of domestic soccer in Japan, the home of domestic baseball, which is a huge number one sport in Japan. We have a lot of the European soccer. We obviously carry loads of boxing in Japan. We've got motorsports, golf. We've got a bunch of content on. It's sort of like the ESPN of Japan now, DAZN Japan. Similar situation in Italy. We've just renewed the Serie A domestic soccer rights in Italy for another 4 years. So we've got that content through until 2029. The vast majority of that content. Germany with Bundesliga and Champions League. Canada, we have the NFL. We have a relationship with the NFL globally outside of the US as well. So the US and our focus on boxing in the US, of all of our core markets, it's the exception to the rule. There's lots of reasons for that. The US is a much bigger market, and the investment risk one has to take to buy domestic rights here for the NFL or the NBA is significantly bigger. I think it's easily forgotten that DAZN is only, as a product to the consumer, 6.5, 7 years old. We're already a very established player in the US in the niche of boxing, and it's a big niche, but it is a niche. It's not a sport that's as big as obviously the NBA or the NFL. So we're very proud that in 5 years in the US, 5.5 years in the US, and 6.5 years since we really launched as a business, we're now a number one sports broadcaster in a number of countries and a very established, profitable business in the world's most competitive media market, the US. That's an incredible achievement. Whether or not we go in and go hard at another big sport in the US there's a number of factors that affect that. The NFL's locked up for most of the rest of this decade. The NBA is coming back to market pretty soon. Candidly, I think we're pretty happy to focus on optimizing our boxing business right now. We're obviously launching sort of ancillary versions of it with the crossover boxing stuff, which allows us to grow it. It's an extension. It's a different product in my mind. It's sports entertainment, not boxing. But it's obviously related somehow to our core boxing business. That's how we're choosing to grow. In the future, absolutely, we want to be involved in those conversations. We speak regularly with the likes of the NBA, MLB baseball. We have great relationships with these guys. The step to go and buy a major package of domestic rights is a big one, and I think we are minded to maintain the economics of our boxing business, which is very positive and growing, before we go and take a much bigger jump into a different sport and a different space altogether. We've navigated out of COVID really well the last 2 years. We've built a profitable boxing business. We've extended it with crossover boxing. We've added different promotional partners. We've gone into new markets and done shows. So using the US as a launch pad for a global boxing business has been where our focus has been. We've done a good job on that. I don't think we want to go and take on anything particularly different to that in the next sort of 18 months, but we're always open door to ideas.
Joe, I really need you to help me understand why I pay more for DAZN in America and the UK boxing fan gets better value. They get pay-per-views, they get American pay-per-views, and they're all part of their subscription, which is less than mine's. What is the problem?
Well, there's a few ways to answer that question. One, you get UK pay-per-views in the US as part of your subscription. Anthony Joshua is not a pay-per-view fighter in the US thus far on DAZN. He's often a pay-per-view fighter in the UK. If we were to do Eubank Ben, we planned to do Eubank Ben in October last year. Obviously fell apart at the last minute, but that would not have been a US pay-per-view. It would have been a UK pay-per-view. So that works both ways. The price differential really is a reflection of the different economic situations of the two countries. You pay a lot more for a house in New York than you do in London. You pay a lot more for a coffee in New York than you pay in London. Fighters get paid a lot more in the US than they do in the UK. It's a different country with different economics. So things cost more generally in the US than they do in the UK, and that is definitely true of content products. That's true of the industry in general and society in general, to be honest. Again, I come back to value. I think we always want to be pressured by fans to deliver better value than we do. We get that feedback. We seek out that feedback. Ultimately, that's reflected in the health of our subscription base, and I think it has not been in a healthier position than it is in right now.
What is that US number of subscriptions?
That's not something I'll share with people like you, but I'll keep that under my hat. Just tell you that it's profitable. It's a healthy business. It's growing. And as I say, the Q4 schedule makes me confident that we'll add to it before the end of the year, significantly.
Not trying to push, but it's public knowledge that it's 15 million worldwide in 225 countries. So why would the American number be, I don't know, private?
That number's evolving all the time. It's seasonal. It grows and it contracts a little bit when certain content's not on. That's the nature of subscription businesses in sport. We are a private company. We're not obliged to report all of our economics publicly, and we don't. We don't comment on our subscription numbers in individual markets very often. We've done it occasionally when it makes sense for us to do it, but now is not one of those times.
For sure. Well,
now, Joe, I wanted to ask, as of recently, and I asked Frank about this, but obviously, I feel like you could answer this better. We've seen a influx of co-distributing with DAZN and ESPN.
Mm.
Something I love. I was telling Frank I was watching a college football game that on ESPN that did
Yeah.
10 million viewers in America, and the entire time on the bottom right of the screen it's KSI, by the paper. And I was like, wow, I thought that was the zone. And I'm like, oh, they're co-distributing again. Just the
Yeah.
thought process behind it. Are we gonna see that for Haney Prograde and just moving forward?
No, it's definitely something we are interested in doing. I said that we're promoter agnostic in our way, in the way that we want to work with lots of different promoters. We're also platform agnostic. I think, as a sports fan, I think a major problem in the current situation of broadcast distribution is it's actually quite hard sometimes to work out where content's being broadcast because there's so many players broadcasting sport. I think there is a bit of a responsibility to the fan to make sure that to make content as easily as accessible as possible. We work with our colleagues in the industry to make content discovery as easy as possible. Clearly, it's not always going to work for every single event and for every single opportunity. Um, the economics of it mean that it doesn't always work. But for certain events, we've done it twice now. We did it for Jake Paul, Nate Diaz in August. We did it for the KSI Logan Paul pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago. We've worked with ESPN. Clearly, we benefit from their marketing machine, which is significant. You talk about promotion during college football in the afternoon. That's very valuable marketing inventory. They benefit from having additional content to sell to their ESPN Plus subscribers, and there's obviously a revenue share against that works for them and for us. Look, it's something we're exploring. We've done it twice, as I say. We're learning about it. Again, a bit like Showtime, great partnership with Matt Kenny and his team at ESPN. We enjoy working with them, and I think it's something that we're definitely keen to explore again in the future. Not always. We're going to build our own business, and clearly there's a focus on doing that and getting subscribers onto the zone. But it's definitely something that we've scratched the surface on, and we're not against doing it again in the future.
So nothing currently set for your next pay-per-view in Haney Prograde?
No discussions on that yet.
Okay. Now, wanted to ask just about the end of the year, very busy schedule. Um, why put Jake Paul the day before the Bam Rodriguez fight? I'm just curious. Do you feel that's not too much?
No, I think it speaks to the quality of our schedule that we've got so many great fights coming up that we need to squeeze in before the end of the year. I mean, if I'm a subscriber, that's great. From mid-November, you've got Pacheco Caceres on the 18th of November. You've got Cameron Taylor from Ireland on the 25th of November. You've got Serrano Ramos, I apologise, the MVP card this coming weekend. Before all of that, we've got Jake Paul mid-December. We've got Haney Prograis. We've got Bam Rodriguez. That's a pretty stacked
Ryan
schedule.
Garcia.
Ryan Garcia. We're serving fantastic pay-per-view and non-pay-per-view men and women's boxing. So, look, we have a great boxing schedule. Managing it and optimizing it is a full-time job. We have people who do that full-time. We don't always get it perfectly right, but I think we've got to. If I'm a subscriber, I'm looking at how many shows I can get access to before the end of the year, and I think that is a great run in the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks. That represents real value.
Joe, now in bringing that value, another thing that we asked Frank, and bringing the value to the fan, oftentimes there is events on simultaneously, which as a consumer, that's not a bad thing. But I wanted to ask you about the possibility as a consumer to watch two events simultaneously. Has the zone explored that idea? Because we're diehard, so we watch all the fights, and sometimes cards do overlap or events overlap. Is that something that the zone has ever explored, watching events simultaneously? So say two events at once.
Yeah, we do that in other markets. I don't think it's something we don't want to have that very often on the zone. We don't want to have clashing events. I don't think that's good for anyone if that's the case, consumers or otherwise. But yes, I mean we have the functionality to be able to do that. We do that with other products in Canada, for example. You can watch multiple games, NFL games at one time. We do that with our soccer businesses in Europe and in Asia. So yes, we have that functionality. I don't think it's something we often see in the boxing business, but it's good to know that that's a consumer need. We'll look at that.
Joe, once upon a time, HBO stopped doing exclusive promoter deals and started to buy fights. Is that something, a business practice that maybe DAZN would look into, buying specific fights? Like hypothetically, Errol Spence and Crawford doesn't have a home, right? The rematch. And, you know, it still has a fan base that's wondering what's happening with that fight. When is it going to happen? And what network will it happen on? Is Joe McCroskey interested in buying specific fights?
We do that. We've done that. We had, we're obviously not working with Canelo Alvarez right now, but the most recent iteration of our Canelo dealings, we were on a fight-by-fight basis. Lots of our deals allow for our promotional partners to bring on top of the core deal additional fights, pay-per-views or otherwise, that we buy on a fight-by-fight basis. Yeah, we are very open-minded to the different commercial models of how to acquire content in boxing and also to promote it and market it to fans. So yes, we are very open to buying individual fights. We're open to hearing proposals for longer term deals. We're open-minded on all of it.
If hypothetically you end up with more major promoters on that broadcast, how do you ensure that those separate promoters actually have their fighters fighting each other? We've seen Canelo not fight, Demetrius Andrade. We've seen Munguia not fight Berlanga. There are some fights that could be made currently on DAZN between the two promoters that exist that haven't been made. How does that affect if we get another major promoter? And does that still mean you have that seat at the table? And if you can just be clear what that seat at the table meant, because we understood it meant you get to have final say.
Look, I talked about herding cats, right? Working with multiple different boxing promoters, and when they want to work together, sometimes it's quite hard work. They're often quite public disputes between these guys. We always want those discussions and those talks to be happening behind closed doors. It's not good for us when Eddie and Oscar have a scrap on Twitter. That doesn't help us get things done. Sometimes it's quite entertaining. I admit I occasionally enjoy it, but it's not great for getting things done. We want to make sure that any promotional partners we work with, either full-time or occasionally on a fight-by-fight basis, are working collaboratively with others to make the big fights happen. Eddie's been vocal recently saying that, as has Ryan Garcia, various people have been vocal in saying we need as a sport to start getting out of our own way and to making big fights happen. That is why Garcia Tank was so important. The fans wanted to see it. It happened at a time where they wanted to see it. I want to use the power and leverage DAZN have to make those big fights happen as often as possible. That involves us working with as many promoters as possible, having good relations with them, and putting the appropriate pressure on them to make their fighters fight in the fights that fans want to see. I love the idea I heard earlier, one of you mentioned on the DAZN website, or the Matchroom website, having a commitment from fans to buy pay-per-views. Yes! I love that idea. I think it's such a good idea. I've been texting our marketing team about that since I heard it. I think that's a really good idea.
You should definitely talk to me. I'm telling you, that's my idea. There's so much involved in that idea.
He's been pushing this for months.
Joe, you would have so much data, like on there, right? But regardless of just Berlanga and hypothetically Canelo, because it could work with cross promotion, because now the broadcasters know the amount of interest from the paying fans. Plus, they're giving you the upfront money.
I want to caveat this. I need to check with our legal team if we can do this, right? I don't know the answer to that question, right? But I don't know if we can take money off fans before something is
It's a
contracted.
pre-order. It's a pre-order.
Listen, I love the idea. It's a great marketing idea, but sometimes the best marketing ideas are blocked by the reality of the legal situation. Let me take it away, Nesta. It's a great idea. I'll give it thought. I'll speak to the relevant people. I'll come back to you. I would love to have that done because I agree with you. If you could put hypothetical matchups on a website and say, vote with your credit cards, right? Fighter A versus Fighter B.
Yes,
Fighter
Joe.
C versus
You're
Fighter D.
brilliant. I love it. I love young
Put
blood.
that on a put it on a website and say, give us your credit card details. We will bill you on a date when this fight happens.
Yes.
Now you might have to put a date against it, and this is the legal. This is the legal. This is detail. Devil in the detail, right? But I'm going to get into it and have a look. I think it's a great idea.
Just look into the sneakers. Adidas does it with their Yeezys, right? It's a raffle situation. So they put the sneaker on the market. Not everyone can buy it. I give my credit card details. If I win the raffle, Joe, the day that they ship the sneaker to me, they charge my credit card. We could do that. Plus, credit cards have
more
been
basic.
handling.
That's a guaranteed product they're making.
No.
They are definitely manufacturing that sneaker, right?
Yes.
What I need to check, and there's many other things I probably need to check. The thing that gives me pause and concern about the idea is if I say Fighter A going to fight Fighter B. Let's say I just say that's the matchup. 100,000. Yeah,
I
fine
already
print.
went through it.
Fine.
Listen to me. In my head, I already went through it, and I wrote it out. So we do fine print, and we say if we don't meet it in 90 days, everyone gets their refund if we have to, because we're doing credit card anyway. So we just need your commitment. And you can build on the idea. Maybe the network, you guys decide, let's at least get 10% of the pay-per-view buy from them.
Yeah,
I'd still be willing.
It indicates demand. We go into a pay-per-view fight week, and obviously we're tracking the numbers early. The vast majority of numbers come in last minute. Subscribers or pay-per-views, they always come in on the Saturday or the hours before the event starts. And we're relying on inaccurate data points, anecdotal data points. So you say, oh, Drake's tweeting about this fight on Tuesday. That means it must be big. Or, my friend, the taxi driver's asking me about it. So it's cut through to it's on ESPN. So there's mainstream interest. There's all these anecdotal, imperfect data points. It would be great to say before a fight is contracted, look, 100,000 people have just put their credit cards down to buy this fight.
That's right.
We know that there's interest in this fight. So I think, I think that's great.
So in between fights, like right now, you're going to do Oshaki Foster. You just get Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora to cut, right, in between rounds or before a fight, in between fights. They cut to, hey, guys, let's cut to the fight you want. And on there, you got all this graphic imagery of the potential matchups. And everybody can promote it. It doesn't have to just be DAZN because you got cross-promotion fights. You got your Berlanga versus your Canelo. So now whatever respected Canelo network he's on has to promote the fight you want. Because, again, if the seed money gets there, you got the fight you want. But I got a couple of questions from the people, Joe, so I do want to get to that before they leave.
My last question to you is, how long's your contract at the Boxing Voice? Because you might be getting a job in the DAZN marketing department anytime soon after this idea. So, you might need to balance out your current
man,
contract.
listen, from your lips to God's ears, man, we just need an opportunity. We would prefer to be the DAZN Daily Boxing Show twice a day and still give out free ideas. Because like I said, I just love this sport. I'm not like you and Danny that watch other things. This is the only thing I watch. So I watch everything you put in Matchroom USA and UK because I'm a degenerate boxing fan. Like we just love this sport and we want it to be better. We want AJ Joshua. When can we get AJ Joshua?
AJ Fury.
No, AJ Wilder. Excuse me. I'm saying
AJ
Joshua.
Wilder.
He's the same person. We've been waiting 7 years for that fight.
We've tried. I can honestly say we've tried. We've tried all the big heavyweight fights. It's not easy. I think we're moving into an era of boxing where those big fights will happen more regularly because you're starting to see the impact of big fights not happening in a number of ways. The public will lose interest. It's not people like you, because you'll watch Fury and Garner. You watch whoever Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fights. You're going to watch those fights. You're a hardcore boxing fan. You do it for a living. What I worry about is the next generation of mainstream sports fans losing their interest in boxing because the big fights don't happen. I always say this. In boxing, every week, things happen that are the equivalent of the Eagles refusing to play the Cardinals in the Super Bowl because they can't agree commercial terms. Right? It's like you're never going to have that happen in the NFL. You're never going to have Manchester United refuse to play Chelsea in the Champions League final because they can't agree commercial terms. That happens all the time in boxing. The biggest fights in the world don't happen because fighters and their management teams can't agree commercial terms. They just don't happen.
Joe, and you know what's funny about what you just said is that NFL players, a lot of people don't know this. Your contract is only for the regular season. So if you make the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl, you make a base salary. Everybody makes the exact same, whether you're the star on the team or whether you're the bench player. Everybody in the playoffs and the Super Bowl makes the exact same thing.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I got shiny suits. Do you see the Zone booking more shows at beach destinations during the winter months like Cancun card this weekend?
If I've got anything to say about it, yes, I love those shows. We're going into the winter months, so yeah, we've got a few down south and in Mexico, which are great, and I think they're working for us more importantly than the weather.
And I got Huang in Houston. He says, I like the Zone, but with all due respect, it's disrespectful as a former consumer to be asked to pay the new price for what is being offered to Americans.
Yeah, we rewarded people who stayed loyal to the Zone with a better price point. I think that's fair, personally. I think if you've shown a loyalty to the business and haven't exited and haven't churned your subscription, then I disagree with that guy or girl. I disagree with that point of view. I think it's fair that people who've stayed loyal get better price points, personally.
Joe, was it a DAZN decision or a Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya decision not to put Ryan on pay-per-view again?
A joint decision. I think, look, Ryan is definitely an emerging pay-per-view star. I think he played more than his fair share in the numbers that were significant in April for Garcia Tank. But I think we're also at a point in time where not every single fight needs to be pay-per-view. Anthony Joshua has done some subscription fights on the Zone recently. He's still a pay-per-view fighter. I think each fight is a different product. I think you need to commercialize them in different ways, and I think this one makes sense as a subscription fight.
Well, those are all the questions. I do appreciate your time, Joe. Man, thank you so much. We were looking forward to this, and it couldn't have came
Really
at a better
enjoyed
time.
it.
No, great
Really
to speak to you
enjoyed
guys.
it.
I'm really
I know
glad you
you're
like
big.
the idea, though. That's amazing because I feel like it could save this sport. It will give every promoter and broadcaster so much data because then you can add a questionnaire to that. Who are you
I
buying
agree.
this pay-per-view for? Is it for
I agree.
Ben or is it for you, Bank? You know,
I like it.
now you help these fighters understand, bro, you're just not worth this money. Look at the data. They're buying it for Haney, not for Regis.
I hear you. Don't come at me asking for percentage points of sales, though, because you're not going to get that. But I do like the idea. Thank you very much.
That's crazy because I talked to someone and I said, bro, if I could just get $1 for every pay-per-view sold off my idea, I'm it's generational wealth. I'm rich for life.
If I personally got $1 of every idea I had, every seller every idea I had, I'd be a very, very much wealthier man than I am. So I would I wish the world worked like that, but unfortunately it doesn't.
Still take a few cents off every pay-per-view. That might work. But I'll take whatever you throw the dog, McCroskey. Don't worry. Give a dog a bone. We just need an opportunity over here. Once again, we do appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate
Thanks,
you guys.
Joe.
Speak soon. Thank you guys. Bye.
I hope we see that idea come to life, bro. That's going to be amazing. I told you guys, I seen everybody in the chat. Thank you for your motivational messages because there was a lot of people that said the idea was dumb and stupid, but someone in position that knows about this told you how great it is. You guys just don't understand. Data is so important. Um, Oh my God! I hope he could bring it to life. You see, because those are the people that can make the quick phone calls to bring that shit to life, bro. A sit down with Bob, and Bob can be part of that. Now you can mix and match because it's not gonna hurt Bob Stable, and he ain't gotta let his fighter go until he sees the money is there. But phone lines are back open if you want it. If not, we up out of here. We got Brandon in Cincinnati.
Yo, Ness, how's my audio, brother?
Straight.
What's up, Danny? What's up, TVV? Nah, initially when you were describing the idea,
What up?
you was confused too. You was confusing me too, bro. I'm like, he's trying to give him too many details too soon. Like hey, you got a website, zone.com. I got a website. We gonna call the website this portion of the website the fights we want on the website. I was like, he's trying to say too much. Just keep it quick and concise right now, and it would have
So
landed better. That's why you.
what made you help? What made you help understand better?
Uh, just the way he described it, the way the last guy came on, it was just like he broke it down in simpler form than Ness did. So I was just thinking like Ness, he trying to just go into too much detail at once,
I ain't
and
want to
he's
lose
confusing
him,
him because
B. I
I'm getting
wanted to make
confused.
sure. See, that's what I wanted to
You
happen
lost
with Frank.
everybody.
Yeah, but Danny, guess what? You thought I lost everybody, and you thought I lost Frank, but the actuality is that Joe McCroskey heard it from listening to that
Yeah, once I
interview.
re-explained it, bro.
Get your ass
Once I
out of here. He ain't say
re-explained
nothing
it.
about you. He said me, bro. Hilarious. This kid
He
trying to
said the
steal.
idea. I ain't say it was mine. I'm just
Look,
saying
I
once
don't care. That's what I keep telling you. I'm a Gemini. I'm gonna get 100 million more ideas in the next 10 minutes. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want the shit to work. I just want them to do it so
But
I can
all in
get the
all,
fight I want.
I do think like a pay-per-view Kickstarter or pre-sale, which is essentially what you're trying to do in simple form. You're trying to do a pay-per-view Kickstarter and or pre-sale is a good idea. There's plenty of ways you could do it. Your way is cool. Maybe promoters come up with the guaranteed purchase for both fighters and try to get half of the guaranteed purchase in Kickstarter, or so it is a great idea. But like I said, you just was trying to give him too many details all in a matter of seconds, and it was just coming
God
off
is
as
good,
jargon.
baby. God is good. God made sure that he comprehended it. That's all that matters.
So yeah,
You
long as
know,
the other guy comprehended it. So I'm like, all right, it landed for somebody. That's good. Maybe he's a Gemini too. Shit, he caught that shit. I don't know. But great interviews, man. Like I said, the first interview was funny because you kept asking the zone questions, and the dude kept saying, "I don't work with the zone." I'm like, that's gonna keep asking this nigga the zone questions, and he gonna keep telling you
bro,
that's probably
because
something you should ask in the zone.
let me tell you
Then you
why.
got it the zone
Let me
guy,
tell
so
you
it
why.
all worked out anyway.
Let me tell you why. Because even though he said he don't work for the zone, it's not necessarily true. I mean, it is. They don't work for the zone, but they own a certain percent in the zone, and the zone owns a certain percent in Matchroom, the company. So they 1-1. They 1-1.
Yeah, I agree.
You may
But
feel
yeah,
like
man, I
it's your
hope that
time,
shit land though, bro. I
but
wish
it's
you
not
nothing
your
but the
time.
best with that. Put a
Appreciate it.
patent on that, Ness. Patent that shit, bro. Patent it.
I know, man. There's so many things I need to do. I need help, bro.
All right, TBV,
I
I'm
could
out.
have been had a nonprofit too. You know what I'm saying? We would have been had our gym if we would have had a nonprofit. But it's just like all that legwork. You know, I need a Leonard Ellerby. I need my own CEO. You know, so I could run shit and he could run that fraction of the company because it's just you know. We need more people. But we got Juvie $5. What time is the betting show? Also, is it pre-recorded or live? Keep up the good work, guys. TBV. Fire emoji, thumbs up emoji. Let's get this money. So the betting show is at 10:45. It's already scheduled. It's been scheduled since yesterday. I actually got a bet that's damn good already. So check it out. I haven't posted it, but check out the show because it's going to go down. $2 boxing fan Ness, your idea is old, bruh. It's called Kickstart. All right. All right. Que lo que Mota, $20 super chat. Drop a bomb. He said, I'm not going to share that with someone like you, but it's public, dummy. And when it comes to subscriptions, every company takes advantage of American people. UK got money. Don't let them fool you. TBV for life. That's what I'm saying. It's expensive as hell in the UK. I don't see how they paying less than us. I feel like it's the same, but average boxing fan, $2. If a fighter A gets injured, I want a refund. But that's part of the deal right there that you could put in the fine print, right? Like, we know we want AJ versus Wilder. So, two replacements. Zhang is your replacement. That's it. Now it's like AJ Wilder, the fight you want. We need
Nah,
X.
I ain't gonna lie. If I pay for something, that's what I want. I don't want no fucking replacement. I felt like it's a simple. You get your money back.
It could be, but again, we're thinking business. So to benefit the provider, the network, and the promoters, they got to come up with the option that says Zhang is the replacement, but if you don't want that, you can get your refund. You understand? There's a replacement fight. You don't want it, take your complete refund. They still got the 90 days to know, like, well, we still got 75,000 that wants Wilder Zhang. We can make it. Bro, the data's there, champions. The data is
JV
there.
$5 says this is why UK boxing wins. US boxing has too much ego, narcissism, too proud. Boxers not risking their O's. Y'all lost Fox, NBC, HBO, Showtime, etc. I mean, they only had two of those, but I hear you. Mr. CYP $5 says I helped build this show for 5 years. I ain't never asked for anything, and now I can't chat. Cool. My money and time will be missed. Trust that. It was fun. CYP out.
Ryan in Canada, $5 Ness. You know it's a great idea. That sounds crazy to people who don't have the vision. Bro, but they call geniuses crazy. They don't understand.
I'm not.
You know,
I feel like
Nas said it the best. People hate what they can't understand. You feel me?
Zorro de la Vega $5 says shout out Ness for convincing the zone top exec to like his idea. For sure, big shout out to Danny for helping explain and land Ness's pre-order idea. Much love, TBV.
That's right. Now all we got to do is have the same thoughts. We have to have the positive thought of the idea coming to fruition, and it'll happen. You know, affirmations is real. You know, prayer is real. And group prayer is strong. So if we all praying for the same thing, we gonna get it. Let that be known. Since we pitching ideas, sorry, I missed that, Brandon. You had to get my attention. Fuck around and find out.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good morning to y'all. Um, I might speak a little out of context because I heard majority of the show and I heard it to the guy got off the interview. I thought you were speaking to the promoter. He sounded like the guy over what's the one that promotes the box?
He's the I was talking to the promoter of Matchroom, which is Frank Smith, and then after that we was talking to the broadcaster CEO of the Zone, Joe Makrowski.
Okay, so you got him to see. I was listening to. I stopped listening to the part of the show when you was trying to blame Danny for the dude not staying on, and Danny had to tell you he just saw his phone. So I didn't hear the interview of Joe. So he hopped back on
Nah,
or
we
something.
got after that we got the Zone CEO to jump on and answer the questions we needed.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm gonna go off what I heard. So I didn't hear anything like to add on to it. It's definitely a good idea. I think by the guy telling you Frank to sit down and write it up, and here sending over email and stuff. I think that's where it starts. I heard you make the comment
Bro,
like. maybe somebody in my
Let me tell you.
maybe somebody in my can I finish, Danny?
Yeah,
Or can I
no,
really
I'm
finish
telling
my
you, the
thought?
dude already heard the
Uh,
idea though. He don't even got to write it down no more. He got off Ness, the dude from the zone offered Ness a job at the zone, and Ness turned it down.
Man, none of that. Man, get out of here, bro. I ain't turned shit down. All I did was shoot my shot for what I would prefer to have. Go ahead. I'm rewinding. Go ahead, J Mac.
all right. I was going to, and I'm glad you said that. Um, I think Ness, you should at some point take some type of ownership to it.
You breaking up, champ?
When it,
We losing you.
yo, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yo, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
All right. It started on your show, so I think you should take ownership of it.
You dipped off again after you said ownership of it. Remember, guys, he's on the road. We got a lot of truck drivers, so bear with his service. If we can't get him on, we'll get him back
Yo,
on. Okay, he's back.
uh, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it one more time. I was saying that you should do the email because it with you any type of financial gain or any type of benefit to the TBV or Nesta Gill himself. I think you should get credit for it. So that's why I
He already
would
said no
follow through the
financials.
process with the guy just to make sure they understand. Can't. Okay. Well, look, man. Look. All right. Off that. The topic is about Bud and shit. What we talking about,
Yep.
Bud and Spence?
The rematch. Is
All
it
right.
gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Where's it
And
gonna
it's just
happen?
I think the rematch will happen. I think this is gonna be the last of Errol Spence if he does rematch Bud, because I think Bud will stop in a more dominating fashion. We have never had to see Bud rematch anything. And I think he gonna have a point to prove, especially after all the excuses that came out. I'm gonna take my boomerang next,
All
because that's
right.
my first call. Um, if the fight happen, I'll see it. I think they got bigger fish to fry. Honestly, I think Bud can move on and actually doesn't have to redo that again because it was just so dominant. But if ever want to fight again, maybe he planning on retire afterwards because he will get stopped in more dominating fashion. Ever just can't do no with Terence Crawford. Just two different levels of fighters. I would like to see Bud, of course. Y'all know I want to see him go ahead and take care of the Canelo situation. I like him at Tim Zoo. I even like him at Jamel. I think Bud to stop Jamel, and I think going after Jamel actually still should be on course because he go. Let's just say Bud do Tim Zoo, Jamel, and then Canelo if he's still around here fighting. That's one hell of a resume, and it wouldn't even be close or even compatible, and that would definitely put him as the greatest of all time. So I mean, I like Bud moving in that direction. If for somehow a boot slip up in there, I'm good with that too. I don't see how that would make sense, especially with the network situation going on. But if it made sense, I'm with it too. Shit, that's all I had. I had a lot to say about the original with the Frank Martin topic, but since I missed some of the interview, I guess some of the questions was answered. But I'll shout out to y'all. That's my call.
All right, champ. Appreciate it. Looks like we got hardcore dub. What up?
Straight, this was up, man. Shout out TVV. Smash that like button. It's free. Do something with yourself. Yo, yo.
We hear you.
All right. Yeah, man. That was a cool interview, man. I remember when he was called. Some of these, Johnny come late, man. First day fans, they don't remember, man, when the zone first came in. My man's was called the Twilight. It was calling that man Twilight, like the Robert Twilight. You know what I'm saying? He done came a long way. The zone CEO on the show on TBV. Ness, your idea is your idea, right? You came up with that, right?
Yep. Yes.
Hey, man, you better copyright that real fast, man. Try to find the episode because you don't want another you don't want somebody to call in and say I got the clip from when I gave you the idea. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, they wish
find
they
the
gave me
episode.
that idea.
You know, and I heard the proposition you did, man. You think you slick, man. You know what I'm saying? But ain't you gonna be competition with the zone already got like a boxing show, don't it?
Nah,
What's
man,
our guy's
we different, man. We would come on at our time, which is very
name?
early.
Okay,
They could still
boom.
do their thing, you know.
That's right.
We
That's
could
right.
coexist, you know.
I was thinking how
Like
y'all
don't
can
forget,
collab. I was thinking. Go ahead, Mo.
don't forget that you got the Breakfast Club. Then there's another show that comes on for the afternoon because those dudes only work 5 hours. Then there's a whole nother show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. And maybe you can attack two different markets or two different demographics or something of that nature. But yeah, it definitely could work, man. It's more boxing fans. And then when you tie in topics, and if you take my idea and include some MMA striking, you could say boxing and just follow the boxers. Hey, it's enough content for everybody, man. Shout out TBV. You know, Danny did break it down in layman's terms. He did, man. But the show was cool, man. To see the hardcore shit, man. Like you said, this sport, the fans are a little more knowledgeable. I mean, I don't know if he know about the American fans and NBA. Like we do know about the salaries in the NBA. We do know about the salary and the salary cap and all of that in other sports. But in boxing, you do have to follow the financials a little bit closer because when people say they ducking and when people say they not fighting, you try to find out reasons why. And it's usually the networks or people not coming together commercially, like he said, man. So he gave a lot of insight. I hope everybody learned something today. You know, shout out, smash that like button. It's free. Do something with yourself.
All right, let's see who we got.
You may feel like it's your time, but it's not your time.
Chrome, what up?
Y'all funny as hell.
Yo, can you hear me?
You.
We hear you.
Oh, this is the first time me talking with this Bluetooth. Oh yeah, good interview, good interview. I see you got what you say that was the CEO of what? For the zone?
Yes.
Oh yeah, shit, that's what's up. I mean, yeah, I try to copyright that and do something, but man, why you ain't jump on when he try to offer you some type of job or something, man?
90 seconds.
He still
Nah, I
give
mean,
you the creative power, man. I think I try to at least negotiate on that.
you
At
heard
least
what I said. He said he anyway, bro. I don't know. Y'all just ain't catch it. He basically want the idea and give me a job as marketing. That's not kind of how it works. It's my idea. You feel me? So I deserve a percent. I don't deserve a job in a totally different
60
department. I
seconds.
created the idea.
I get that.
But it's like I told him, it's all good. Just throw a dog a bone. You feel me?
That's up. Oh yeah, and on to the topic. I think the rematch gonna happen because I feel like Spence really want to show us something different, even though I don't really think it's gonna go different. I guess I really want to see the fight just to see what the new excuse is gonna be if the same thing happened at 154. Because I don't see Earl changing this whole style in what about 6 or 7 months. I I don't really see it. I mean, I somewhat don't want to see the rematch. Only reason I want to see it because I just hear the Spence fanatics just come with so many damn
10
excuses for
seconds.
the fight just because of that. But I don't think the outcome gonna be no different, man. But that's my call, man. I was just calling and checking with y'all boys. It's been a few days. I just been listening in. Have a good show, man. I keep listening in.
All right. Shout out to Daly, who reached out. She's a publicist, heard the idea, and wants to write the business plan for me. She feels it deserves to be on email to have it documented. All you fucking haters that think my idea is whack. See? Deontay Wilder was always right. Speak it, believe it, receive it. You hear me? Speak it, believe it, receive it. Don't let these fuckers tell you no, man. That's all they want to do. They want you to not believe in yourself.
Who we got on the phone lines? Phone lines are open 425-569-5241.
Juan, you there? Yo, try now. Check, check. Fucking hear nothing from Juan. Juan. This Twitter's trash, bro. Juan, what about
Make sure
now? Nothing. Juan, jump out, jump back in, player. I don't know what's going on. Jump all the way out, all the way back in. I got Majid. What up?
damn, this is just not working for anybody, huh?
The hater. Let's try you. Unmute. Nah, I mean the space. Something happened with the space. I'm telling you, they got some issues going on because it was mad people. Now that shit got 4 people. Nobody can hear. It is what it is. I got Trees, Toledo, Ohio. What up?
Yo.
You.
What up, though? Damn, look at that. Handy dandy phone line. You just gotta take it old school sometimes. But, hey, Ness, shout out to you, man. Good interviews and shit today. I'm fucking with it. I feel like all you need was Eddie Hearn now to jump on for the trifecta type shit.
Word.
But, But good shit. I see you got the CEO rocking with you with the idea. That's good shit on the pre-order because that does make a lot of sense. That's good shit. Fucking with it. I'm fucking with it. But on the topic here, by the way, I don't know if y'all heard Fury just had an interview. You feel me? And it's crazy. I find it funny now. Like he was talking about on the interview how I guess with the Usyk fight he ain't gonna have a rematch clause with that joint, right? So he basically like, oh, it ain't gonna be, it ain't. I guess there ain't no rematch clause with the Ngannou joint. He talking about, oh, I don't believe in rematch clauses. If it was a shit fight, we don't want to see it again and all this good shit. I'm like, he like rematches then cost me a millions of dollars. I'm like, damn. As soon as he said it, I had to think about Bud, bro. I'm like, damn, Bud in this boat right now, bro. There's rematch clause, lightweight hold, fucking his money up. Like, I feel like Bud not able to capitalize on it. You feel me on his fire right now. You feel me? He abused Spence. You feel me? Him like everybody clamoring for the Canelo fight for the first time ever. Ain't nobody heard no shit like that before. But I'm sure Bud want to jump in there and make that bag. Shit, I'm sure he want to fight Tim Zoo, fuck around, go to Australia or something, make that bag. But he tied up with Spence still. I'm like, damn. When I heard that, I'm like, damn, Fury. I'm like, damn, Fury. I wonder how much money that shit really cost. Like, I wonder how much this is costing Bud in the long run. You feel me? And that's since you marketer of the year and whatnot. You feel me? You done got you a whole PR machine running around this motherfucker. I'm saying, how much money do you think this could be costing Bud? Like how far is it gonna push him out from possibly getting the Canelo fight if he dealing with this Spence shit?
I don't
Huh?
know, man. He got to get out that contract before he could talk about any fight with Canelo.
Did he sign like a multiple fight deal like Canelo did, or he only signed for the fights with Spence?
He only fought to the fight with Spence. 2 fights.
Okay. I didn't know if he had another fight. Like if he had a 3-fight deal, then I see he could follow up with Canelo. It would be, you feel me? It would just line up, boom. But I guess that ain't the case. But shit, hey man, Jared Anderson, man, shout out to you, my boy. Hey man, I know you keep telling me that he not gonna get a Philip Herkovich, but I feel like Philip Herkovich on ice, my boy.
I mean, they talking
I
about
see that he.
AJ and Hergovich, so I don't know if you're following that, but they've been talking about AJ and Hergovich.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Once again, fuck it, Frank Sanchez. You gonna have to do, bro. You gonna have to do. Since PBC look like they about to disband, you might as well come on over the top rank and get your shit knocked loose real quick. But shout out TBV, shout out Toledo, Ohio, man. I know what the fuck going on.
All right, champ. Who is next on the line? Looks like we got General Camino. What up?
Nuts, Danny. What's good, man?
Chilling.
What up?
You may feel like it's your turn,
Oh man, yo,
but it's
great
not your
interview
turn.
with the Dazzle CEO. That was a great interview. I really enjoyed that shit. Um, Great idea, Nuts. I mean, it looks like he took heed to it, so hopefully he could speak on that in big rooms and get that idea passed. But what else was I gonna say? Yo, good thing not jumping up on that like, oh, a company offering you a job, you just about to take that shit. Cause the way he was talking like that, bro, he would have took your idea, threw you in the marketing department. The next time you try to speak up, they're gonna be like, Ness, bro, you work for us. Shut the fuck up. So good thing being your own man, bro, because every opportunity ain't a great opportunity. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody ain't necessarily hear that because he'd say he would offer you a job, but he wasn't trying to give you anything that would put you in I think, a position you'd want to be in. I think it was just like, we gonna throw you in the nuts and bolts of this company, and we gonna source you how we gonna source you. So it's a good thing he wasn't too crazy about that, you know. Every opportunity ain't the best one, but outside of that, I thought it was kind of funny about the whole subscription price. I know things cost a little bit more in America, but even what we paying, I don't even think we getting enough boxing for it, let alone other sports. I mean, he said they're the ESPN of Japan. I refuse to believe some of our money ain't paying for a lot of that shit across the globe. Like, I refuse to believe that. So, I don't know. We definitely need a little bit more of an adjustment on that subscription price, in my opinion, or more U.S. events. Because I know he was making a case about, like, Joshua, but that Joshua event was a pay-per-view, and then they knocked it down to a regular show. So you can't say, oh, if that was a pay-per-view, y'all would have got that for free. Like, we got it for free anyway, and it wasn't a pay-per-view. So that was a bad example. What else did he use? As far as
Yeah.
the marketing,
Yo,
I didn't. What up?
why they keep calling you the ganja officer and the weed police? What happened? You got caught with weed or something?
Oh, nah. Last night I went on. I was talking to Ness about the whole Keyshawn thing, and I didn't think Keyshawn. I thought Keyshawn was in the wrong. I stand by. He made an irresponsible decision. Like, I don't feel no sympathy for Keyshawn. Like, bro, it's not like you ate some bad meat or something, or like you got tricked into eating something and it had something in it and you got caught. Like, bro, you was smoking weed, bro.
So you
You
rather
know
you
you
rather
work
he
for a
pop for a
promoter.
PED unknowingly than him pop for weed?
No, I'm talking about the sympathetic factor of it all. I would have been more sympathetic, like if he ate something that was tainted or something along those lines where he really wasn't at fault. Him getting caught for smoking weed is him at fault, bro. He has to know better. He has to move better, especially as a professional fighter.
Oh,
So that's
that's why they
probably why they
calling you
calling
the
me
weed
like the
police.
weed general
Okay.
or some shit. Because, I'm standing on the side of responsibility. This is a 21-plus-year-old man out here signing contracts to box professionally, to show up to events, to do what they're supposed to do, and you getting caught smoking weed, you getting caught with weed in your system is just irresponsible. And that was the point I made last night. I advocate for weed. Like, I smoke weed. I'm probably about to go smoke a little bit later today. But in his situation, you got to be more responsible, bro.
Yeah, I think
What you think about that,
I think
Danny?
it's I think that unfortunately right now we live in a time where it's a gray area, right? Legal for some, illegal for others. Um the rules is the rules, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Um I'm not taking 9 pills a day because I smoke weed. You feel me? So it's like I'd rather smoke weed than take certain prescription. Honestly, I'd rather smoke weed than take any prescription medication. Um, I ain't justifying it.
I'd
The rules
agree.
is the rules.
I've worked in a pharmacy for the past 8 years, Danny. So I fully agree, bro. I'm not for, oh, if his choice was smoke weed or take a pill, he should have. Bro, my thing is, you signed a contract to box professionally. You know, in Texas they test for marijuana. Move accordingly, bro. That's little kid shit.
To be
Niggas gotta
fair,
grow up.
and I'm not justifying it.
There's no
I'm not
fear.
justifying
There's
it.
what it is and what it
But
isn't.
now, hear me. This fight was
I'm listening.
originally his fight. His fight was not supposed to be in Texas. I'm not justifying it, but I've
No
honestly
doubt.
wondered. I've honestly wondered if he thought he was gonna land somewhere else where they don't test for it, and he didn't. Because the location I heard was not Edinburgh, Texas, until they announced his fight. So again, it just makes me wonder.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I wonder too, but like at that level, Danny, with $1 million on the line, 500K on the line, 600, bruh, move accordingly, bruh. One spliff, three spliffs. I'm telling you right now, if they told me to put the spliffs down for 600K, nigga, I'm putting that shit down for a little bit. Like, fuck, are we talking about? And I'm gonna go past him smoking it, nigga. You got caught. A lot of people do a lot of things, but you getting caught. That's on you, bro. You gotta eat that.
I mean, we
In the
know
words
we
of
know
Champ,
we
Forty,
that
be in your
is
system.
the bell. I got a counterpunch from J Matt.
Yo,
Yo.
man. Oh my fucking god, man. I'm on this new path where I only want to go after certain people. But this last caller, the weed man, the weed police, I'm a little complex and I'm challenged by what he was saying. Now I do believe that you should hold these fighters accountable. But from my understanding, do Keyshawn stay in Nevada?
uh,
He stay in Nevada.
he
No,
trained in Nevada,
no.
Where he live at?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh, so he stay in Virginia. Okay. I don't know what the weed laws is out there. I just know he's in a situation where, like Danny was trying to explain, that weed is probably something legal. So it's an in between. Keyshawn is 21 years old and what have you. And I do think he probably learned a harsh lesson, but I also think he rolled some dice that he probably been rolling and finally got caught for it. The reason why I don't hold him to no standard because a bunch of people smoke weed. A bunch of people on this show smoke weed. A bunch of people know they smoke weed and they know they go get a pop. They could possibly get popped for a drug test. They just got it in good because their supervisor will give them a heads up so they could get the time off to go fix it. So it's easier said than done, especially when you're a dedicated weed smoker, or especially for guys who done lost their jobs because then they got popped. So I'm just like I'm a little confused and I'm complex by what his point was or the accountability should be had. I do believe there's a gray area, but y'all know me, I'm gonna call a drug cheat out, but I don't think that's a drug cheating situation in this situation.
It was
Next,
crazy
I'll
that
say
he
this.
said he. My bad. It was just crazy to me that he said he rather he eat
I
something not knowingly pop, and then instead of smoking weed. Like, bro, I never want no fighter to pop for no PED.
agreed. I'll say this, and that's about the opportunity with the zone. How we know what the opportunity is until we explore opportunity. Another thing I disagree with the last caller was he told you what they was gonna have you doing and have you doing until you and you don't know none of this until you explore it. You got somebody that say they're willing to pull it together, put it on context, put it on contract so it can know where the idea came from. You can open the door and open your door with multiple opportunities that may be beneficial for more than a marketing job. And you can never explore opportunity until you explore it. And then once you explore it, you can decide and say, is it good for you or is it ain't? Until you find out. My new slogan, you gotta fuck around to find out. If you're not gonna fuck around, how you gonna find out? That's my call. That's my advice. I have always gave you, I think, good advice when it come down, all the bullshit aside, all the argument aside. I always been in support of you growing your brand. What I think
It
about it
may
this
feel like
way,
it's your
think about it
time,
that way, and what
but
have
it's
you. But
not
I
your
do
time.
think you should explore the idea and be open to seeing what doors it can open. Fuck around and find out.
For sure, champ. I'm with you. I don't know why y'all thinking that I'm not, and I don't know why everybody automatically assumes that what he said on the show is final. Like, you don't have to. I mean, we talked about this on Untitled yesterday. Like, you don't have to jump at the first offer. You know, and like he said, you explore things. So certainly something I look forward to doing. What up,
They
Majid?
saying that.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Everybody need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join YouTube members and Patreon for something. Um, Shit, with that Errol Spence and that Crawford shit, I'm looking at it as simple as they got a contract they signed. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether we want to see it or not, Errol got the right to get his rematches. That's what he want. Personal belief. He don't want to get smoked twice, but luck. And my main thing is like, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, being on this motherfucking show and speaking some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had Leonard Schmellaby sitting up there all up in the background on some bullshit, just listening, ain't adding shit to boxing. But like I said the other night, he need to get his little bitch ass on these lines and talk to the motherfucking fans like the zone doing. The same place that we saying that they should go to, the zone. You know what I'm saying? They actually got on here and talked to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, LB, you fucking suck, bro. But shout out to you, Ness, because you got to sit at the, I'm gonna call this the table with the big people. They heard some shit and they liked it. And if they gonna motherfucking, put you on, I remember Showtime, they had those Mortal Kombat fuckers. They was so fucking boring. I
He
watched
called them
about
Mortal
2 minutes total ever since they was streaming and shit before the fight. You know what I'm saying? So if they could get you on there, man, like, just to cover the like, to sit down and have you your little segments or whatever. You gotta keep the boxing voices, the voice of the people where you get our opinions and shit, and you could build on it like shit every day, every week, because you talking to us every motherfucking day, unlike a lot of other people. So shout out to you, man, and I wish the best success for you. You already had the studio before. Like, come on, DAZN, man, get him a studio for these DAZN USA fights, bruh. Like, we could use it, cause shit, this the voice of the people, man. So let them speak to the people when it's fight night, bruh. All right, Ness, that's all I got. Shout out to you and your movement, man.
Appreciate you, champ. Appreciate you, man. Nah, man, listen. Jetty Kiss, baby. Locks, we gon' make it. We gon' make it. That's what I'm saying. I don't get totally depressed like normal people because it's like I'm still doing what I love. You feel me? Still doing what I love. Um, would I
Oh,
love
nah,
for big
I ain't
shit to
gonna.
come from it? Hell yeah. I got. I would.
Ness,
I would love it. What's up, champ?
I just want to put it in your face right now before I forget, because I disagree that you don't be getting in your feelings, bro. Look, when we had Frank on, you damn this, that, the third, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? He just said put it in black and white, and you was like, oh, Joe jumped off, and I'm just like, bro, like, you feel me? He willing to hear you out. That's great, and bro, to me, it was even better. The dude heard it, loved it so much, jumped on the show, offered you like, bro, you feel me? You out
I mean,
here,
I
you
hope God is listening to all you guys that really think He offered me a job. Y'all never heard of the phrase? And remember what I said about all phrases in life, Danny? What are they?
they
True.
lies.
They true. But y'all never heard of the phrase tongue in cheek? Like, we gotta see if that's really what y'all believe it is. You can't just assume that it's a job because a person said that's not how it works, man. Tongue in cheek. But JV88, $2. CYP gonna patent your idea, Ness. Demo member for 7 months. The champ. Yo, listen, let me go back to that. Bro, like I told you, my lawyer for this deal that brought me to Vegas is a listener of the show. Um, I ain't got no problem. You feel me going to court? You feel me? I ain't got no problem going to court with anybody. You feel me? My audio is documented. I'm here every day. I got plenty of character witness with all the people that listen. Like, I ain't got no issue going to court.
Man, I didn't know where the fuck he was going. You took that shit for real. Demo's member for 7 months at the
No,
champ
because
level.
it's good. It's good to let people know when you not educated in the legal system. You get taken advantage of. You get frightened for certain things, bro. I got a hungry lawyer. I love going to court. I won lawsuits. I beat Rikers Island. I fought a security. That's what I'm saying. My life is a movie. We talked about it on Untitled. We ain't gonna go down that street, but I will say that I beat the brakes off a CEO and won.
CEO.
Yeah, CEO and won, and got a lawsuit for it too. Like, hell, locks
Yeah, Joe,
again.
don't
Going
Joe,
back to
don't
the locks.
Joe.
I ain't talking about Joe. There you go, about to put bad information into the universe.
Nah,
Going back to the
was
locks. I
being
got a
clear
hungry
'cause
lawyer that'll eat your case. You feel me? We got Demo, member for 7 months at that chair level. Remember, I was answering a super chat. All it takes is a dollar and a dream. Shout out to Ness and Danny for the big moment that will be remembered in boxing history forever. Fire emoji, rocket emoji. Average boxing fan, salute to you, Demo. We appreciate it. Once again, from your lips to God's ears, because it's not over yet. This is just the beginning. Like I said, it could just be tongue in cheek. Average boxing fan, $2. Spider Rico is Sharif from Menace to Society. Cringe. Juice God, welcome to the prospect level. Juice God, you might as well upgrade to the champ level and get this money with us. We got a betting show at 10:45 a.m. Tyrone the Great, who actually takes predictions for us, is saying that weed is legal in Virginia. Here in Virginia, so he lives in VA. And we got Manuel LG, $2. TBV on the zone if they can offer more than YouTube. Holla. Nah, but somebody said it already in the YouTube comments. And obviously shout out to Danny for putting me on. I wouldn't know. But nah, I mean, he set the precedent. It's over. I wouldn't take anything less. What I'm talking about, Danny, let's see if we connected. You put me on. Pat McAfee deal. Now
I mean,
I ain't talking McAfee money for you wild out. I'm just saying his deal
are
where
you
I still own my channel. I still go live on my channel. You feel me?
but to be clear, that ain't his deal. His deal is he go live. It's simulcasted. So he go live on both uh YouTube channels and he goes live on the network itself.
Yep. That's what I said. That's what I said. I want that McAfee deal where he kept his channel. He still go lives on his channel, but he now works for a network. We got Optimus Prime, $10. Ellerby can't talk about anything in podcasts without his daddy Al Heyman's permission. We got Majid, you funny as fuck. It looks like everybody, I think. Let me double check.
We actually got the Bay and the Brunch, the Haney versus Prograde pre-fight party tickets and sections are on sale. Get them while you can. It is an all-inclusive ticket, so you get your brunch food, you get your unlimited mimosas, you get your open bar, and you get to have a good time. Only 10 minutes away from the Chase Center. So get it while they're available. Celebrity guest host to be announced soon.
We got Huang in Houston, the voice of the people, TBV. Yo, that would be amazing though, to simulcast on their YouTube channel with that 3 million followers. Yo, we out. NestGTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch me on the next one, which is at 10:45 today. If you
Pacific,
want.
1:45 Eastern for the betting show. Let's make some money this weekend. 10:45 Pacific, 1:45 Eastern.
To join the betting community, is it here or Patreon? It's both. If you want to be live and interact during the actual betting show live, it's better to become a member here on YouTube. How do you do that? It's quite simple. If you're here watching YouTube, you're seeing me and Danny, you got to our channel, you navigated here where it says join. But before you hit join, hit this thumbs up, then go to the join, then click the championship level, which gets you the betting show, and you get to make money.